everything that made me a threat in corporate is everything that makes me a beast as an entrepreneur. And now with reality TV, petty has become cool. It's the norm. So it's like, it's normal to just like, oh yeah, she cute. Girl, that outfit ain't really that cute. You want to choose the thing that you are so good at that you could structure your life around you doing it. One of the tricks of racism is to keep black folks distracted with impact they're not making, because if we really figured out that our impact was tied to how much money we were making, we would start making more money. Hey guys, so today you're gonna actually see a video. It's a recording of our tour stop. So in this video, I'm talking about cash infusion strategies and all the things that you all can do to actually grow your business. And I've never before shown this on my YouTube, so tap in. It's gonna be a great episode, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you have not already, like and subscribe to this video. And like we always do, if you get all the way to the end, just share one thing that you learned, all right? Share one thing that you learned. Okay, thanks guys. I am so honored y'all are here, okay? Let me tell y'all, if don't look like what we've been through was a town, it would be the women in this room, okay? It would literally be the women in this room. I am just so incredibly honored that you all came out, you're excited, you are beautiful, in spite of everything that has gone on here. And so I don't take your time lightly, and we are going to get into it, okay? Who's ready to work? If you're ready to work, say work. Work. If you're ready to grow, say grow. Grow. If you're ready to win, say win. Win. Okay, so we're gonna get into the nitty gritty right at about 10 a.m. Some of our family members are still on their way, particularly because of the traffic light situation. So what's cool is, because you all are on time, we're gonna do something special. Who's down for that? If you're down, say down. Down. Okay, so what I wanna do right off the bat, until we get probably about 9:45 or so, 9:45, 10 a.m., I wanna hear from you. So the way these tours work, and I'll share a little bit about why you all are here, but every city is going to be different. Now, if you know me, how many of you it's your first time coming to anything of ours? Raise your hand. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, how many of you all it's your first time hearing about me, this tour stop? Okay, cool. So y'all was like, I ain't been to nothing, but I know who you are. Okay, cool. Okay, good. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ashley Kirkwood. I run a company called Speak Your Way to Cash, and you guys, even looking at you all come in here, I was getting so overwhelmed because I started this company as an event company in 2019, and the only thing that we sold at that time was an event called Speak Your Way to Cash, and it was literally 10 people in a conference room, really in a WeWork, and I didn't have a budget for that event. So what I did was, and Lord forgive me, I used my husband worked at WeWork, so he had a key card to get in on the weekends. And so we just snuck in on the weekends and used the conference room. And it was very risky because people were literally buying tickets, and we were like, if you see anyone that look like they work here, just act like you ain't here for no event. And so that event, I did it, and at the end of the event, people were like, okay, so what's next? And I'm like, nothing. Because I don't have no plans. Like, I'm just doing this event because somebody asked me how I was getting paid to speak. And so to know that it's gone from that to what the company is now, and I'll share this with y'all, but y'all can't tell nobody. If y'all can go tell nobody, say promise. Promise. We were named to the Inc. 5000 list. Yes, so it'll be released in a couple of weeks in August. They'll release all of the awardees, but in order to get on that list, your company has to grow like 10x in the past couple of years, and your revenue minimum is $2 million. And so I remember being in our house that me and my husband purchased, our first house in Chicago, and we made this vision board. And on the vision board, it said, one child. Where's my baby at? Is she in here? Okay, so my daughter's here. She probably went to the restroom or something, but it said one child, because I was not about that children life, but shout out to y'all mamas who really be mama-ing. Like, I be like, I got one. They be like, how you tired with one? I'm like, mind your business, okay? Everybody ain't got the multiple kid anointing, okay? Like, the Lord, one child, okay? So that was on there. Being on the Inc. 5000 list was on there. And at the time, I had no idea how we would get on an Inc. 5000 list. Because I remember pitching to companies who were on the Inc. 5000 list to pay me as a speaker and being like, it would be dope to be on this list, but I don't know how that's gonna happen. And I think last year I tried to apply, or a couple of years ago I tried to apply, and they don't even let you apply unless you have the minimum qualifications. Because I tried to press next, they said, sis, it ain't your time yet. You ain't got the minimum. So I'm just so grateful. And so for anyone here who has dreams of like growing your business to multiple millions, just know there was a time where I thought I couldn't be an entrepreneur because all I saw was strugglepreneurs. Y'all know them? And I just was like, it does not look appealing to me, okay? Like people was like, leave your job, you a slave at your job. I'm like, my job pays me twice a month. It's not giving slavery at my job. So I just, you know what I mean? Like I just could not see it. So when I became an entrepreneur and realized that the key to growing my business was sales, then it all started to make sense. And I think a lot of people tell us, particularly Black women, to follow your passion. And the problem with that message as a singular message is that they don't also tell us to get your paper. Yeah. And that's the problem, is everyone is preaching on the internet, follow your passion, and at the end of the day, they can't pay their bills. Yeah. And that is a representation of entrepreneurship that just was not appealing to me. And so I started studying what is the average amount a Black woman entrepreneur makes, and it said that the gross receipts of Black women entrepreneurs is $26,000 on average. And that, she's saying, yep, she like, sis, I know, yep. Mm-hmm. Like, that's horrible, though. And it's particularly horrible for one reason and one reason alone. Do y'all know who Dennis Kimbrough is? I've totally adopted him as, like, my uncle / second dad. He doesn't know this, but I totally have. So Dr. Dennis Kimbrough has done the most research on Black millionaires of anyone. So he is like the only guy who has specifically studied Black millionaires. And one of the things that he has found is that the reason why Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs is because we have swag and originality. And that's true. Like, I don't know if he called it swag and originality, but I was just like, I don't know about all, I didn't read all the data. I didn't need no extra confirmation. I was like, that's just facts. Like, we look good, smell good, walk good, we fly. We just are it, you know what I mean? So I was like, that makes total sense. And he was like, the only issue is that's the originality that's gonna make their business soar. But there's something that happens. How many of you have been in corporate America? Raise your hand. Okay, keep your hand up if you've ever worked a corporate job and you felt invisible. Keep your hand up if you've ever worked a corporate job and you felt like they were totally disregarding you because of the color of your skin or your gender. Keep your hand up if you were tired of having to get your paycheck from people who didn't look like you. Okay, me too. Right? And so what happens when you're in those environments, you guys, is sometimes those environments, they force you to mask the very creativity that will make you wealthy. And so in corporate, we'd be having to hide. We'd be like, okay, yes, sir, absolutely. We're really gonna be like, bruh. You ain't got no business coming in my office telling me what to do when I know what you should do. I've been fixing your stuff for years, you know what I mean? But like, we don't say that. We be like, absolutely, John, we'll do it. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Yeah, per my last email, you know what I'm saying? So like, that happens, and then we become entrepreneurs, and we're like, I don't know if I should be me or the me that has helped me provide for my family for the last 5 years. And so everything that made me a threat in corporate is everything that makes me a beast as an entrepreneur. So in corporate, they're like, she talked too much. But in entrepreneurship, it's speak your way to cash. In corporate, they're like, she's too loud. In entrepreneurship, they're like, she's a leader I can follow. In corporate, they're like, I don't like you dressing like that. That's not professional. In entrepreneurship, it's like, sis is fly. You know what I mean? And so we made more money the more I uncovered. And I got this revelation from Michael Todd. It was on the B-Side app or something, like him and Tim were talking. I think the guy's name is Tim. But he said that people don't realize that authenticity is what unlocks the anointing. Yeah. And he said that the reason David beat Goliath is because David was being himself. Yes. Because if David wasn't being himself, he would have tried to put on the armor like everyone else. He would have tried to use the same tools as everyone else. He would have tried to look like everyone else. And I just want to come and give you guys a message. And I don't know who this is for, but the more you show the world who you really are, the more money you'll make, the more income you'll have, the more impact you'll have, the more influence you'll have. Everything you want is behind your authenticity. Your power is behind your authenticity, and your ability to beat Goliaths is behind your authenticity, okay? Okay, so here's what I want to do. We're going to do 1 minute pop-ups where you're just going to tell me what your business is, your biggest business issue, and specifically tell it to me like this. The offer I sell is blank. I transform customers like nobody else buy. So let's write it down. Because y'all know we can talk, right? So we'll go, the offer I sell is blank. And we'll talk about this a little bit later when the rest of our fam gets here. But I believe in something called a North Star offer. So you have all these different offers you can sell, but your North Star offer is the offer that you are going to make the most money with in your business. So either the one you already make the most money with or the one that you plan to make the most money with. Because another thing that tricks us up from making a ton of money is we don't focus enough. So the offer I sell is blank. I transform my customers' lives like nobody else, like talk your stuff, you know what I'm saying? By blank. And so right there, you're gonna tell me your unique value proposition, the thing that makes you unique, the thing that makes you special, the reason people are gonna hire you over and above your competition, okay? And so this is gonna be cool. Who wants to go first? VIPs, we got some, anybody? Okay, awesome. We're gonna have you go first. I saw your hand back there. And do we have someone running the mic? I thought there was a mic over here, but now it's gone. Where's the mic? Oh, perfect. Okay, we got you. All right, good. Keep your hand up. Who's going first? Okay, we have first up here and then second right there. Yep. Okay, are y'all ready? Say ready? Ready. Now here's the thing. This is a time, okay, let's set the stage. This is a time when you speak in here, you're gonna stand up. And this is the time for you not to overthink. How many of y'all struggle with overthinking, be honest? Okay, there's something within you called your instincts. Your instincts is going to be the thing that gives you a competitive advantage. The only difference between people who really soar in business and those who stop short is that those who soar trust themselves. Those who stop short only trust others. That is literally the difference between a CEO and an employee. An employee has to trust their leader, but a CEO has to develop a vision, see it when no one else sees it. And all of you are CEOs. Say, I am a CEO. I am a visionary. I don't overthink. My thoughts become things. Okay.
I am Denise Givan, and the offer I sell is the tax-savvy entrepreneur for small businesses. And I transform my customers' lives like nobody else by showing them how to structure their business, document their expenses, and make sure that you're working with a financial coach to help you along the way. One of my challenges is I do not know how to delegate. That is one of my biggest challenges. I feel that I have to do every single thing in my business, and that is driving me crazy.
Now, does that spill over to your personal life? Do you delegate in your personal life?
That's kind of funny. I do delegate, but I feel like the people I delegate in my personal life, they know what I expect. And the others who I want to delegate to, I don't trust them, I guess. And that's personal. So yeah, that's one of my biggest challenges is I do not know how to delegate.
Do you know, because who else, same thing. Anyone else struggle with that? Can you pinpoint kind of like where that came from? Did you see people delegating growing up?
Yes, I've seen people delegate growing up, but where I think it comes from is I've been in business for 21 years, and I have hired and fired so many people because of so many different reasons, and so I recognize a lot of things right off, like, I can tell she's not gonna work, but let me give you a chance. You know, sometimes I don't give them the chance. So that's where it comes from, being hurt in business before, and so that's where the delegation is coming from now. And it's still the same as before. It hurt me then, and it's still hurting me now because I don't delegate, so.
Okay, now, do you know the average length of time someone stays with your company?
Yes, until I get rid of them, so.
So would you say it's like over 3 years?
I'll say the max is 2 years.
2 years, okay. So one thing is, because I know you've been in business a lot, you have a lot of data. The first data point I would get for you is like, what's the average length of time a team member stays? If you find that it's over, if it is 2 years, that's a little bit under average. But if it is like 3 to 5 years, you may find that you're actually doing great, and that's about the average for a company. Because sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. And so, yeah, you've had to fire a lot of people, but every company has to fire a lot of people. Like, it's just, we're doing it at a different scale. So if you had 100 employees and you fired 30 of them, in some industries, that's average. It's like 30%. Okay, well, no big deal. So, and I think looking at the data, especially because you're a numbers person, may help you to be like, oh, okay, I'm actually doing great. Like, people are saying on average 2 years. You know, and then we should look at your hiring process. No one works for us without working for us, if that makes sense. Everyone does a trial. So when someone gets an interview, they don't get a full-time offer. They get a 30-day trial contract. And that contract says this is an evaluation period to see whether you can work for our company. Because I used to do interviews and look like I was gonna stay at companies forever. They'd be like, Ashley, how long, what's your plans for the future? I'd be like, my plans for the future are whatever your plans are for me. You know what I'm saying? I would never be like, well, actually, my plans are to own this company called Speak Your Way to Cash, and I'm gonna leave and be a millionaire. No, I'd never say that. I'd be like, actually, I looked at your career, and I just, that seems like heaven to me. You know what I mean? Like, so I know that interviews don't mean anything. The only thing that matters, so in terms of our hiring process, first step, you have to do an application on Indeed or something like that. After that step though, before you do an interview, you do a written application. In the written application, I see how you write, I see how you think, and you submit a Loom video telling me about your past experience. Now, if they show up to that Loom interview, they got tank tops on, I'm like, okay, cool. You don't respect this company enough to show up as your best self, or it tells me that your judgment is off. Either way, I can't work with you. Now, I could love you and pray for you, but you can't work for me. You know what I'm saying? And so that knocks out, because we get thousands of applications for every role. We have open jobs now. We have an open operations director and an open administrative assistant. However, people don't make it through the interviews. If you put that written interview first, that's gonna help. And then after that, we do an in-person interview, and I'm trying to find out how you think. So the question I ask is, tell me about your favorite, your favorite person you ever worked for. What did they do? Tell me about your least favorite person you ever worked for. What did they do? Now, if I see myself in the least favorite person bucket, I don't hire them. You know what I mean? Because it's like, some people, especially you've been in business a long time, they see you, you're a sister. I don't know if you've ever dealt with this, but one thing we deal with is people apply who want me to mentor them. But I need you to work for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to. If I mentor you, we have a girl, Lael, she's from Trinidad. She's been with me so many years. I mean, she started with me when she was like 18, 19, and she's just a beast. Like, of course, I'm gonna like mentor her and help, but she don't expect that. That comes as a result of me wanting to develop her as a leader, but I'm not gonna pay you to mentor you. We have coaching programs, you could pay me to mentor you, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna pay, like, that's like you want me to pay you and like, come on. So that's a big issue that we have. So the way my pastor told it to me is people apply for you thinking they're gonna work in the restaurant, but they're really applying to work in the kitchen. I know, that boy cold, ain't he? I mean, man, I shouldn't say that. But like literally, like that's what it is, because they're like, oh, Instagram, this is gonna be so fun. We're gonna travel. I'm like, it's fun, but I work. You know, I don't be just, I be like working, you know? And so you have to do that, especially as a sister. The other thing we did is we got a recruiter, and the recruiter don't necessarily look like me. That changed the game a lot too, which is really unfortunate. But people were coming to interviews too common. They were coming to interviews giving me sister girl instead of I'm corporate right now, you know what I mean? And so like we had to put written applications in, we had to do that. And even with all of that, we still be having to fire people sometimes. But I was finding that even if we had to fire them, because we do a trial period that's contract, I was getting my work up front. Because one of the things I would hate is when I bring someone in, I train you for 8 weeks and then you can't do the job. No. I'm gonna get me some work out them 30 days. Because you come in and I do not train them for that 30-day period because I'm looking for instincts and work ethic. So in big corporations, they have budgets to train for 6 weeks. I ain't got that. So you need to come in here and off the bat, be ready to do stuff, kick off stuff. All of my best people come in and get busy. All of my people who ain't gonna make it, they come in, they're like, okay, so where's IT to help me set up my computer? I be like, okay, sis, well, your trial was one day. God bless you. And I fire fast. Because once that thought comes into your mind that you cannot trust them, the way you interact with them drastically changes. And let me tell y'all something else. One more, is this okay if this ain't even Q&A. Let me tell y'all something else. Don't let anybody make you uncomfortable in your company. Anybody. I am not your mother. I am not your sister. I am not your friend. I am your employer. I have an obligation to pay you on time and to give you a healthy environment to work on. I'm not gonna give you no toxic work environment, but you have to work here. And there was a time, you guys, where I would literally let people come in and I'd be like, well, she doesn't really like when I do that, so I'm gonna da-da-da. That takes away from instincts, right? And I was listening to an interview with Shannon Sharp. Y'all know who he is? He is the #1 podcast like in the world. That's wild. His interview with Cat Williams, I think has like 20 million views. I've never even seen 20 million on a YouTube video. And one of the things that he said, and I'm not saying that this is healthy, but I'm telling you the difference between men and women. I'd be over here like, well, I don't know, I don't want to hurt her feelings. He was like, if I call my team at 2:30 in the morning, they better pick up. I was like, whoa, I thought I was intense. And he was like, because our mission is to be the #1 podcast in the world. And the only people that should work here are aligned with that mission. Now, our mission at Speak Your Way to Cash is to solve small business sales problems for Black women entrepreneurs, period. Like, that's the mission. That mission is more important than one person's feelings. So I think you have to get to a place where you and your team is sub to the mission. Because there may be times where you're short with them. Let's be real. There may be times where you ain't got time to put the flower in your mouth and then say it. You know what I'm saying? So you need team members who are mentally tough enough to handle it and get to work. And don't like, I'm telling y'all, like, do not let people off the hook for your standards. Because it's not their brand. It's not their brand. And you know you have a good team member when they get upset when people make mistakes. Like one of my team members, like Lael will call me like, can you believe this happened? This is not according to our standards. I'd be like, girl, you gonna have a job for life. You know what I'm saying? And whereas I'd have other people who are like, I don't see why it's that serious, I'm tired. And I'd be like, how you tired? I've done 5 works, 10 tours, 2 commercials, 5. They'd be like, I'm tired, it's just too much. I'd be like, okay, well, it's too much. Then you were never committed to the mission. Yeah. So I say that particularly because this room it's mainly all women. Do we have any men in here? Outside of like graciously Sean and my husband. Like it's all women. So we have to make sure that we don't let people make us small and our big. Your company is your big. So if they can't get behind that, they gotta go. Period. We've had speakers that we've cut off before the event. 24 hours before the event. I heard they did something to make one of our attendees uncomfortable. I was like, hey sis, appreciate you. You cannot speak tomorrow. I've had clients that were like hosting like little coup meetings and doing things like trying to cause division. I had to call her and be like, hey, heard about this, appreciate you. You will not be able to come. She laughing, she like, I got him. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about me and my event, come on girl. But like literally I had to do it and that took a lot of confidence because there were times where I'd be like, well, it's okay, I'm gonna just let her da-da-da. But then I have to think to myself, is what they did on mission? Is what they're doing causing division? Is that going to help me achieve my mission or is it gonna take away from it? It's gonna take away. Now y'all know sisters, we deal with all kind of nonsense. You know, you got some sisters, they be like you, then they get a little jealous, now they don't like you. They say little stuff, blah, blah, blah. And now with reality TV, petty has become cool. It's the norm. So it's like, it's normal to just like, oh yeah, she cute. Girl, that outfit ain't really that cute. That type of division is more serious than we think. Because my goal is not to be Nene Leakes, God bless her. I don't make a living on mess. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to. That's not how I'm gonna sleep good at night and get into my heavenly gates, okay? So like, that's not my standard, but because it's been put on display, sometimes we don't hold each other up the way that we should. So in our companies, that comes out, you know? So we really gotta like, stick to the mission on those companies for sure, okay? Okay, that was a long detour. But if that helps somebody, if that helps you, just clap your hands. Okay. All right, we're gonna get into it. All right, we're gonna go deep today. Okay, it's 10:01, perfect. We are on schedule. Let's get into this. Copyright notice, y'all know how that goes. So who am I? Okay, so we have helped 7,500 speakers, experts, entrepreneurs as paying customers. I recently signed with an agent. Y'all getting all the behind the scenes stuff, okay? No one knows this yet. But I recently signed with an agent, and one of the things, and an agent is gonna help me get my book deal. So I am shopping my next book, which is called Think Your Way to Cash. So my next book, I'm gonna sell it to a publisher. Now, this is how this works. So how many of y'all wanna get like a New York Times bestseller, traditionally published? Okay. I didn't know this because I've always self-published, but the first step typically is you get an agent, okay? And the agent is gonna take your manuscript, your proposal, and they're gonna shop it to all these different publishers. And then whoever bids the highest on your book, you will then sign with them and the publisher will buy the IP rights to produce your book. Here's what's really cool about this. This allows you to get paid for writing your book. Because I wrote Speak Your Way to Cash, and guess what? Ain't nobody give me a check first. I just had to write it and sell it. And so I got an agent, and before I got the agent, a publisher, y'all heard of the big 4 accounting firms? In publishing, there's a big 5. There's 5 publishers that are the largest publishers in the world. One of them happened to see me speak. Yeah, girl, look at God, right? And I was speaking at the Black Christian Influencers Conference. And I did the engagement for free. So this is how free becomes paid. So I did it for free, but I showed out. She saw me in the speaker's lounge, and I was just networking. And one of my colleagues was like, she's in the Speak Your Way to Cash community. Just a Cashlee, y'all be hooking us up. So she came, right, woo woo. She came and was like, hey, you need to meet this woman. She's like, by the way, she's very high up at HarperCollins. I was like, I hadn't heard of that. You know, I don't know all the 5, but I hadn't heard of that. And so we ended up talking, and time went by because I made a mistake. I didn't immediately follow up with her. But this is how great God is. I was in New Orleans, my daughter finds her card and says, Mommy, you need to talk to this lady. And I was like, okay, I'm texting her right now. So I literally emailed her, and within a couple of weeks, they were like, hey, we're interested in moving forward. And I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, all right, now, so I went to an agent already having a publisher. I say this to you because some of you are waiting on people to open doors for you. But if you go to the door with your own bag, it's way easier to get a good deal. We had so many agents that wanted to work with me, but there was one agency that had represented like all these people, like Sarah and Tony Robbins and Dr. Phil. And I was like, oh my goodness, I like this agent. But I didn't know if they were gonna be the one that would go forward. But I came to the interview and what I didn't do was sell them on me. I asked them questions so they could sell themselves on me. So I was like, okay, tell me more about this. I had a list of questions. ChatGPT helped me come up with some good questions. I asked them a ton of questions, and by the end, they gave me a deal, so we signed our contract last week, which is awesome. And one of the reasons why the publisher wanted to buy my book was because of these numbers. So when I talked to the publisher, because a lot of authors are not business women, but I want to share this with you guys. A lot of publishers are struggling to get authors to sell books. Most authors just want to write books. But as business women, we want to sell books. So when I told them we have 350,000 people across our free communities, millions of dollars in revenue earned, all from zero, it was a different conversation. They asked me about my email list. We have 56,000 people on our email list. They were like, you got how many? Oh yeah, that could work. You know what I mean? They looked at our Instagram. So all the stuff that people say is vanity metrics, that stuff becomes real dollars when you're negotiating with deals. Yeah. So don't leave it behind. So some of you think, I gotta grow my social media, it shouldn't matter, no. That became dollars when I was they were interested in my book and had never seen the proposal. Wow. All they saw was my numbers. So this is why you have to sell, okay? Now we're gonna talk about something in a minute, but this is why you're here. Now there's something I want to share with you guys, and we're gonna share this also for the first time, because Houston is lit. This is our first tour stop. We already getting busy in here, okay? Shout out to Houston, what? And Sean, make sure we take a group photo and do something cool and say Houston strong, because y'all are the most impressive people ever, okay? I could not believe it. I went on Instagram Live. I'm like, is it okay if I still come to Houston? They were like, come. None of our, that was you? Yes, oh my God. So none of our other tour stops have like food and water. There's still food back there. They're gonna keep it out if y'all want it. There's some waters and juice. I was like, man, with what Houston's been through, we gotta do something, okay? So there's something called, you all, the Income-Impact Income-Impact Continuum. Now, this is a framework that we've developed, and we filed the trademark for it. And that's another thing. Y'all come up with something good, immediately file your trademarks. We have a class that will teach you how to do it yourself because it eventually gets to be a lot. We have over 53 on file. And that would have represented like $300,000. So we definitely file a lot of our trademarks ourselves. But there is something called the Income-Impact Continuum, okay? So this is gonna represent income, and down here, we're gonna represent impact. Now, a lot of people, how many of you started your business because it's what you feel like you're called to do by God, or it's you wanna help people, it's a part of your passion? Okay, awesome. Almost all the hands went up. That's impact. So this is gonna represent the number of people that you'll be able to impact with your business, okay? Now over here, this is gonna represent the amount of income that you're able to make in your business, okay? Most of us are not motivated by money. Let's just be real. She said, speak the truth. We're just not, because honestly, if I was motivated by money, if I would have stayed at my firm, I was on the partnership track. I was making 300 grand, but the lowest paid equity partner made 1.2 million. Now let's put that in perspective, right? Because I've made 1.2 million in business, but guess what I had? Expenses. Imagine making 1.2 million in your day job. That's your money. Yours and the government's. They gonna take their cut, right? That's you and Uncle Sam. But me and the government versus me, the government media team, video team, employees, and I still gotta pay Uncle Sam. So like, I would have been a millionaire regardless, had I just stayed on my path. But the problem was I didn't enjoy what I was doing enough to be the best in the world at it. And everyone that I interviewed, because I'm a data girl, I went and found all the highest paid partners. And now these guys are making 20 million a year, 10 million a year, 15 million a year as lawyers. I worked at the #1 firm by revenue in the world. That firm is so rich that right now I have a full-time concierge team for life just because I worked there. So I don't gotta research nothing, make no appointments. They give me all those assistants for life as an alumni benefit. Big money. I started riding in black cars because of my job. Like they had a black car service. I called them, they took me anywhere. Anywhere in the world I was that didn't have internet, they had a person hand deliver internet to wherever I was in the world so that I could work. We had a daytime team that was like my admin and support team. And then at 6 p.m. it shifted, and then I had an overnight team that worked 24 hours just on whatever I needed. Chris, am I lying? Everything was set up for me to work. And a lot of people wonder like, man, why was it set up for you to work? I'm like, because that firm only hired the best. And if you ever look at Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron, what happens? Everything is set up for them to work. Why? Because they're that good that all we want them boys doing is working. You know what I'm saying? And so for you, you want to choose the thing that you are so good at that you could structure your life around you doing it. It doesn't mean you can't do anything else, but it does mean that when I'm on vacation with my daughter, I'm not also worried about cleaning the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I can't raise my kid, but it's like, I don't necessarily got to change the diapers. I could give her life lessons. You know? So like, everything was structured around me to work. And I was talking to someone, and one of my mentors was like, there's no way you saw that level of opulence for you to run a business where you're ragged. And I was like, that's true. So the first hire I made in my business, you all, was an administrator to help me work. I hired someone, she was in Zimbabwe at the time. I found her in some Facebook group, and it was like $200 a month. And then as we grew, she grew. So by the end of it, she was making good money, I was making good money. But I hired her before I made any money because I knew I wasn't gonna go from 24-hour support to thugging it out on my own. Like, it just wasn't. Even if I try, like literally coming here, I tried to be, I'm like, okay, this isn't our big event. First off, who wants to come to Black Women Sell Live in October? Y'all, Black Women Sell Live is lit, okay? Like it's lights, camera, action. So we're doing this tour and our goal was $3,500 per city. So I come in, I'm like, okay, but you know, they're like, if you stand here, ma'am, it'll have a shadow. And I'm like, why? You can't hang it from the ceiling? My husband's like, babe, low budget, high budget expectations. You're not. He's like, you don't even know how to do small. We were supposed to give y'all a worksheet. Pull this up. This is like 10 pages. We were literally like, we're gonna give, I was like, I'm just gonna do one sheet. I'm just gonna do one worksheet. I'm like, how much is this to print? He was like, It's not a worksheet, actually. It's 12 pages. Like, I don't know how to do small because of what I saw. But one of the things that came into my mind was, okay, that firm is able to make all that money because of their impact. Every case we tried, like who's heard of the BP oil spill case? Anyone heard of the ignition switch cases? The Volkswagen? Okay, so all of their cases are like at scale. Every case involved thousands and thousands of people. That's impact. Now, there's a debate as to whether it's positive impact or negative impact because we represented the company in those cases. One of the things that's really cool though is even in those instances where the company did something wrong, what I saw is that because they made so much money, there was a philanthropic arm. So I was able to practice civil rights litigation and they gave me a blank check. So I would go into prisons and represent prisoners, and like my husband did not love that this was what I wanted to do, but I was in prisons representing prisoners against prison guards who treated them bad in prison. So that was like my passion on the side is I would do that. And then we started a nonprofit for girls. They paid for whatever we wanted. So here's the thing. Most of us, women of color, we always talk down here. We don't talk about income. But I want to show you something. If your business makes, let's say 100K, right? Your impact probably is somewhere like around here. Let's say this represents all the people you've been able to serve to make 100K. For some of you, that could be 10 people, depending on how much your services are, right? For many, that could be like 20 people. But if your business were to make 100 million, how many more people would you have to impact to make 100 million? So literally, the only way you get the impact that you want is by selling more of your services. Think about it. Nobody who didn't buy a ticket to this event could get in. So the only way I'm going to impact all of your lives is by you first making a transaction. Do y'all see it? I think one of the tricks of racism is to keep black folks distracted with impact they're not making. Because if we really figured out that our impact was tied to how much money we were making, we would start making more money. And when you make more money, what do you have the ability to do? Impact, but you also have the ability to choose presidents. I know y'all don't think we choosing a president. One of the reasons why in this country, I'm not gonna go too politically because I am in a red state, but one of the reasons why in this country, some people actually really like, not in this, hey, I don't got no judgment, okay? But one of the reasons why in America, there are some people who are very smart, very good people who are like, Trump's a great guy, is because they're thinking about their money. They're thinking about how that stock market was looking under that brother. They are not worried about, you know what I mean? And so when you have a ton of money, you get to choose presidents. You get to choose legislators. You get to choose Supreme Court justices. But if they can keep this room focused on impact that we're not making with money that we're not earning, then we can be distracted. We can start nonprofits that serve 10 people and have 1,000 churches that got 15 members, right? We could be distracted. We're like, well, I'm still impacting lives. Numbers don't matter. Numbers matter. I think that's okay for us to say that numbers matter. Numbers matter. Numbers matter when you have the capability to do numbers. Now, everybody don't got the capability, right? But I believe every woman in this room has the capability to do numbers. So maybe numbers don't matter for everyone because everybody ain't able. Now, I know when you're young, people say, you could be anything you want to be when you grow up. Your work ethic determines what you are going to have in this life. Your actions determine that. So everyone won't have everything. But God knows me so well that I genuinely believe he does not even have women meet me who ain't about that life. Like he already know, he's like, cause she gonna talk to them about working, making a whole lot of money, impacting a whole lot of people, still saying stave at the same time. Like I'm just not about to say that y'all should start small. You know what I mean? Is that okay? Can we just be real about it? So the impact income continuum is like a visual representation of this truth that if your income is lower, your impact is also lower with your services. So if I sell 5 books, I impact 5 people. Those 5 people can impact some people, and there is a ripple impact that takes place. But if I sell 5 million books, then the impact is way over here. And so many people are focused on impact down here, but I think they're just distracted. It's like the generational wealth conversation from people who ain't never seen a generation of wealth. Right. It's a distraction. So what we have to focus on here and why you guys are here today is because you got to learn how to sell. The number one skill you need is sales. All of the ways that y'all impact people never happens if you do not sell it to them first. And to be clear, you're not just selling transactionally, you're selling emotionally. So why do you think when people follow you on Instagram, you've sold them on something? You've sold them on continuing to follow you. People don't just buy with money, they buy with time. So you're always selling. And you got to make it worth their while. So when you put out a post and you're like, who said they was like, I got to do that Instagram? Was that you? No, who said, was that you? Yeah, you like, I got to figure out that marketing, that social media. Yeah, so a part of marketing is social media. We're going to get into audience and messaging. But you are selling them on following you. That's your call to action. So with everything you do in your business, there's a call to action. So the impact income continuum, you do not want your impact down here. You want your impact over in the stratosphere, somewhere over here, and that's going to be tied to you making more money, y'all. How many of you have never thought of it like this? It's directly tied. More money you make, we've impacted 7,500. I want us to impact 75 million. That means I got to keep selling stuff. I got to keep showing up. And in fact, the more money we made, the more we show up, not the less. Yeah. That's another sneaky trick is like, oh, I got a big client. I'm going to take my foot off the gas. I'm going to stop pitching today. And I be telling my clients, I'm like, y'all literally see, Trish is in my mastermind. Y'all literally be seeing, they be like, what are you doing today? I'm like, 5 YouTube videos. Tomorrow I'm doing a commercial. Tomorrow I'm doing, like, it's not, I don't do it because we're not making money. I do it because we are. So when you make money, that money is used for you to make more money. Somebody said, I want my money having babies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want the money to stay in this one client, then I use it all up, and then I go get another client, then I use it all up. No. You want your money multiplying. So you take a portion of every dollar you make and you reinvest it back into your business. My branding was ugly at first. That's fine. As we started making more money, it got better. I used to do all my social media myself. I still post myself, but now we have Sean, who's on our team as a videographer. We're together 4 or 5 times a week, depending on what we're recording. How many of you have seen our new YouTube channel? Okay, all y'all got to subscribe to the YouTube. It's juicy. It's pretty juicy. I don't know. It's giving like reality, but not messy reality, but like real reality. You know what I mean? So it's really good. So subscribe to that. But even that, like if you look at my old videos, everything gets better the more money you make and you make more impact. So I want y'all focused over here. If you focus on the impact, it can confuse you. It can, because you'll be like, but I just helped 10 people. It's not about the 10 people. Because your mission can't be about the individual number of people. Your mission is like, I want to solve small business sales problems. That mission is not reached if I help everyone in this room solve their sales problem. That mission is reached when no one has a sales problem. It's so big that I'm not going to get distracted by helping 50 or 100 or 1,000 people. So the mission has to be big enough for you not to think you reached it when you do a little something. That's why this is dangerous. So you look at your numbers and you're like, okay, cool. How much money are we making? How much money are we making consistently? And you all are going to make a lot of money in your lives. I'm going to just speak that. And you have to, because if you don't, you'll get burnt out too fast. Because what they don't tell us is you don't just need a team for your business. You need a team for your house. I have organizers and moving. When we were moving into our new house, y'all, I went and got a massage. Because we had a moving manager and organizers and all of it. Because I don't need to be moving no boxes. My value to my family is not in moving boxes. What I look like? My man don't want me moving no boxes. You know what I'm saying? Why I gotta do that? So that's literally why you're here. The more income you make, the more you get to protect you. Because the truth of the matter is, even with loving families, y'all, Black women have to buy the support they want. It's not given to us. And the reason it's not given to us is because when people look at you and see all that you're doing, they already tired. So they don't know when it's too much for you. They literally are incapable of telling you, what's your name, sis? Angela, they can't tell you when you've had enough. Because when they look at you, they're like, I would have had enough 5 years ago. I would have been gave up. I don't know how Angela's showing up looking this fly, had power outages, got her power back, everything's happening. She's still helping people with their mindsets. Like, they would have been gave up. You know what I mean? And so I had this realization that was like, okay, Ashley, when people look at you, you're doing so much that they don't have the capacity to tell you when it's too much for you, which means I have to build my own team around me and pay them to make sure they are all in their individual respects helping me to manage, period. Right? That part. That's what we have to do. And so this is why us making money is really important. I don't know anyone who tells you you should not make money. I don't trust them. Impact income continuum. Period. I don't trust you. You telling black people not to make money in 2024 after all that our ancestors have done? I don't trust you. Like, who wins if I'm broke? Who in my family wins if I don't got money? Nobody. So this is how we serve you guys. So Cashlee, who's heard of this term, Cashlee? Okay, awesome. So for those of you that have not, it is our trademark name for our community. A cash lead is an expert who is running a service-based business and utilizing their expertise in a way that only they can. I am not the kind of coach that wants you to copy me, right? I am the kind of coach that wants you to understand who you are uniquely so that you can do you. The best you can do if you're a second version of me is whatever you mimic me. You're always number two. But if you find out what makes you unique, oh, nobody can touch you. You know what I mean? People we've had try to get close enough to figure out what's happening, and they like, I still don't get it. I'm like, I am anointed for this. Yeah. I am uniquely, divinely anointed for what I am supposed to do. So I don't have to worry about like copying. Like, it's not a thing. But what's so crazy is that's an inferior way of living. One of the revelations I got that really helped me to serve us, because y'all know serving us, I don't know who else serves us. It can be it gets a little rocky sometimes. It's a little turbulence, you know? So I was, one day, someone had done something that hurt my feelings, and I was in prayer, and I was like, okay, I read this scripture about how Jesus told the disciples to pray. He was just like, bruh, pray. Of course, they fall asleep. So Jesus looks at these dudes sleeping, and he's like, wow, and y'all are tired. I've been doing all these miracles, wow. But then what Jesus did afterwards is he went and prayed, and he said, oh, I have empathy on them. And I realized that that's how I have to be as a leader, is not mad at people who do me wrong, but have empathy on them because it's an inferior way to live. And so it's sad more than angering. It's like, dang, you ain't have to tear me down. Like, we actually both could be up. But like, I would rather be the person who is torn down than the person who feels like they can only win by tearing. And so that gave me a perspective of like, oh, I gotta have empathy. Because like, how sad is it that a woman that I helped felt that her only way to win was by tearing me down verbally? I have empathy for that. I can pray for that in earnest because that is sad. And that is also a trick of the enemy. It's also a trick of systematic racism. It's not even our fault that we act like that sometimes. And I gotta check myself. When I see a cold sister walk in the room, my first thought is like, okay, well, who's she? What's she doing? I literally asked myself the other day, like, did this lady do anything to you or are you just hating? Like, I be checking myself. Anybody else check themselves? Hey. I'm like, I don't really like her. She seems mean. I'm like, was she mean to you? Well, no, but she's giving mean. I'm like, nah, you giving hater. You know what I mean? I'd be like, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Like, so it's not that I'm above it. It's just that like I've gotten to the place where I'm going to police my own thoughts and challenge myself beyond what I've been conditioned to do, right? And so cash leads are experts running businesses, but they're doing it in a way that only they can. And so this is how we serve. We have self-starters, explorers, and our mastermind clients. Now, I coach all of our clients in our mastermind. Shout out to Trisha, you here? I did not know I was seeing you today. I'm so happy to see you. And then we have Black Women Sell Live. Those folks are explorers. And then we have the Pitch Your Way to Cash membership, the book, Facebook community podcast. And seriously, check out that YouTube, okay? So this is how we serve people. So what we're covering today, first thing first is your North Star offer. You have to have a North Star offer. Then we're gonna talk about affluent audience attraction. Now this is important because some of us are serving beneath where we're called to serve because of insecurity. So you're serving people that you know can't pay you because there's something in you that kind of likes being able to say, well, they just can't afford it. Because if they just can't afford it, there's no call for you to come up. Because if they can afford it and they're just not buying, then that means it's a me problem. So even when I see people like, well, it's just the economy is bad and people just ain't buying because of the economy. Well, the economy is external. There's nothing I can do about that, but I can get better at selling. But if I blame it on the economy, I don't got no work to do. If I blame it on their budget, I don't got no work to do. And do you know there are people that stay in bad situations just because they are more addicted to complaining than they are willing to transform. The complaint is like a blanket. It makes them comfortable. Because what would happen if they didn't have anything to complain about? And I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm not judging because recently I have just been in a really good season of life. And one of the things that has happened is sometimes I wonder like, dang, well, what's going to happen? Like, what's bad about to happen? Like, I be calling my mom, checking on my parents, like, everybody healthy, y'all good? You know what I mean? Just because we're so used to some ball dropping. And literally, like, the Holy Spirit was like, you could just thank me for it being good right now. Like, I was playing tennis. It was nice. I got this tennis coach, Craig. He's like 66. We be bantering. He'd be like, did you know that at Wimbledon, it's all grass courts? I'm like, no, Craig, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Like, I be like, Craig. No, he's like, well, have you ever heard of the King of England and how he used to? I'm like, Craig, I don't know what you're talking about, but keep talking. This is nice. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm doing things that are fun that I've always said I wanted to do, but I'm looking behind my back like, what's about to happen because I've never had life feel this good. And the truth is, I was more comfortable when life was chaotic than I am with life being peaceful. Can we be real? And so a part of what I had to do was elevate who I served so that I could have the life that I want, help them get the life that they want. And then I took away that complaint blanket, that security blanket of complaining. Then we're going to talk about elevating your sales messaging along with that sales acceleration and planning. And then I'm going to give you guys a 10-day cash infusion plan, okay? And your workbook covers a lot of this. So let's start off with your North Star offer. A North Star offer is a company's primary product or service that guides all other offerings and strategies. This serves as the ultimate destination for customers and the core focus of their business efforts, okay? And I think, let me see, let me get the, I'm gonna get the workbook and see if it's in there. But one of the things that I want you guys to know, we're gonna do sales audits and all of that. One of the things that I want you guys to know is that when you have a North Star offer, everything else in your business starts to make sense. So y'all may wanna write this down. This part isn't in the workbook. Now, there is a sales health audit on page 1. So that first question is, do you have a primary high ticket offer that serves as your business's main focus? So let's define high ticket. Do you have a primary offer that's more than $10,000 that serves as the main focus of your business? 10,000 or more? No. Okay, raise your hand if you do. Okay, awesome. Okay, so it's not a North Star, but she has one. Raise your hand if you don't. Okay, now, raise your hand if you don't. Okay. Keep your hand up if you have more than 20,000 followers on Instagram or 20,000 people on your email list. Okay. Now, what typically happens is if you are selling something under that $10,000 mark, it doesn't mean that you can't make a ton of money in your business, but you're going to need a larger audience. So the lower the ticket, the larger the audience. The higher the ticket, the less audience you need. So there's a lot of people that'll say, hey, have a membership for $10 a month, and they're like, oh yeah, that'll be easy to sell. Price does not sell offers. I can release something for $1, and you know who's still gonna have to sell it? Me. How do I know? I have free events every month. You know what I gotta do? Run ads. I have to pay to get people to show up to something free. So price does not sell offers. What does that mean? That means lowering your price does not increase your sales automatically. These are like internet lies we're gonna debunk. Like, I'm gonna just make it cheap. And like, that's not gonna do anything. You still have to sell it, okay? Offer alignment. Now, how many of you have multiple offers? Okay, so let me show you this. Your North Star offer, you guys, our North Star offer is the Speak Your Way to Cash Mastermind. For me, that's where I can go deeper into, oh, hey, come on, it's so good to see you. Another mastermind alum. It's so great to see you. I'm glad you're here. Our North Star offer is our mastermind. That's where I can actually work with clients, get to know them. We have a lot of people in our community, but I know everyone in my mastermind. and alum, right? So that's the North Star offer there. These smaller offers all help people to become ready or learn enough about me to join the mastermind. You see what I'm saying? So when you have a North Star offer, that means if you have a North Star, it's directional. Every other offer that you sell should direct people to your North Star offer. If this is making sense, say got it. Okay, if y'all already got this, say yes. Yes. Okay, now how many of you do not have this set up yet? Say no. No. Okay, cool. I heard some overlap. I think y'all was just saying yes. Okay, so that's okay. That's okay. So for offer alignment, rate how well your smaller offers lead to your North Star offer. So you're gonna write all of your offers down on page 1, everything you sell, and then I want you to let me know how it connects. And we're gonna do a VIP hot seat on this in a minute. So for y'all VIPs, get ready to see who wants to volunteer. But you gotta have, your offers need to make sense. So for instance, we have a free Facebook community. That is where we send everyone. In that community, mainly it's just people talking about their business. We do some engagement posts. I used to be able to stream into that group for our pitches. Now we can't, but we'll post some content in there. There's some free trainings in there. We have the Speak Your Way to Cash book. How many of you have read the Speak Your Way to Cash book? Okay, now here's the thing. We did an enrollment. We checked with our mastermind. Over 90% of everyone in our mastermind read that $24 book first. Yes, thank you. So here's the thing, guys. You can't just write a book. It's gotta be good. It's gotta be really good, because if you write a book that's good and that book sells, it be giving value, but it also be and then we have something called the Speak Your Way to Cash Academy. My editor was like, you're gonna make a lot of money from this book. I'm like, yep, that's the goal, okay? And even people who are book coaches don't always tell you to overtly sell. And a part of the reason for that is because they're thinking about traditional publishing. But if you're, and let me be clear, I told my publisher, this book is for me to sell. So I don't know what y'all got going on in your editing circles, but we gonna have some freebies in this book, some call outs. I'm gonna talk about client stories, and they were down for that. But traditionally, books don't sell. If you look at how publishing typically works, the book is just the book. You're not having freebies and offers and telling people to email you. That has evolved over the years because more business leaders have been writing books. But your book should have client stories. It should have ways for them to engage with you. It should have free offers. It should talk about your paid offers. That book should point people to your North Star offer. Then we have the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, which is on our YouTube channel. That also gets people ready to be the kind of person I want to work with. Now, let me say this. Mindset content actually converts higher than how-to content. I know. I had a coach back in the day, and one of the things she told me is she was like, your content is just too, because I don't really listen to a ton of mindset content. If I do, I listen to Tim Grover. It's a very intense type of mindset content. It's there are closers, there are cleaners. I was like, that's right. I'm gonna be the Michael Jordan of speaking. My mindset content be how intense can you be? But so typically I don't listen to just believe in yourself. That's not my vibe. But she was like, you gotta start talking more about how people need to think. And when I think about it now, that makes sense because you can get a client who can pay you. It doesn't mean they're the right client for you. If price is the only thing making that client perfect fit, you don't have an avatar. An avatar is a type of person that you want to work with. Price is the least significant. For me, for the people who I work with, most people don't come to me being yeah, I've been saving $100,000 to work with you. They just be I need it, so I'm gonna figure it out. What if black women figure out everything else? They will figure out how to buy something. We don't got no problems figuring out how to buy something, okay? That's the easy part. So what you have to do in your mindset content is talk about the type of person, how that person can get over the hurdles. Because when you do that, what happens is they realize that you know exactly what they're going through. So I recently did an episode on my mental health journey. And it was very deep, very telling. Who watched that YouTube video? Okay, it was so deep that I was so nervous about doing it. My husband sat on the other side of the wall in case I needed him. He literally just sat there and let me record it and was okay, babe, you did good. Cause I was do it with me. And he was he knew I needed to do it alone, but I also was just I need you to do it with me. He was no, I'm not gonna do it. But he sat there the whole time and I was I think it was good. And he was I was literally on the other side of the wall. You know what I mean? So shout out to a great husband. But it was so deep. Thank you. Yes, Chris, where you at? Woo-woo. Shout out to you, Chris. But that content, what I didn't plan for, I literally did it because I felt God telling me it was time. Like I hadn't talked about it, it's been several years. And so I was like, okay, it's time. But what I did not plan for was how many successful, visibly successful, incredible women would send me private messages like, I didn't even want to comment publicly, but I've dealt with the same thing. Or I have to take pills for anxiety, or I do this for depression, and blah, blah, blah. And what started to happen is they were like, you know what, I've been wanting to work with you for a long time. I'm about to sign up. Like I'm joining your mastermind. I'm coming to Black Women Sell Live. I'm bringing my friend. And I think that is the type of mindset content that you have to put out is like what's in your heart. And, but my caveat, I don't share anything that I'm not comfortable with people manipulating. Transparency is a gift. It's not an obligation. I didn't owe my audience that. I gave my audience that. And I only give what I'm comfortable with people misunderstanding and manipulating. So I do think transparency is transformative, but only when you have healed enough where if somebody manipulates what you said or they take a clip and it goes viral and it makes you look bad, you're okay with that too. Because as much good, there's gonna be some other sides of it. There were about 15,000 people that saw that video. It probably has like 30 or 40 comments. That means most people were just watching to know. You know what I mean? And so you have to be prepared for both sides of it. I say that because I wish my mentors would have better prepared me for the downside of influence. And they didn't. And so you think like everybody loves you, and so you're like, oh my God, like you're broken when people start saying bad things and everything else. And I didn't know that that's normal. Until I started talking to other people, and they're like, no, that's how it goes. Because originally we grew our audience totally organic, so we didn't have any of that. Like it was just, everybody knew me, so it was like, you know, they knew you. But there's another gap that I want you all to be aware of, and it's the, it's like this gap between what people perceive you have and the level of empathy they're comfortable giving you. So here's my theory on this. The more people think you have, the less empathy they're gonna give. Now, specifically, the more people think you have than them. As the larger the gap gets between what they think you have and what they have, the lower the empathy is. And this is proven in how we treat celebrities. People are very comfortable talking about Blue Ivy, who is a child. Why? Because they be like, Beyonce got everything. Who cares if we talk about her kid? But you would never do that if you knew she'd pull up on you, right? And so it's like that gap, as that gap gets larger, just be prepared. And this is why you gotta be prayed up, stayed up, and have a couple real ones around you. Because like, I can't throw hands, but I got some people that, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But like literally, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. That gap is real, okay? And so this is how you do your North Star offers, right? And I wanted to make sure that you all saw that. And so what is your North Star offer? Let's do some hot seats. Now we're gonna specifically talk about what the offer is and what are the supporting offers that help people to get there, that bridge the gap. So you're gonna have your North Star offer, but there has to be something to bridge the gap. So who in VIP wants to go first for the hot seat? Okay, come on up. Yes, now, okay, she can record her hot seat. Y'all cannot record this session, okay? But if you come up, you can record that, and I'm gonna just do the honor code, because we have had issues with that in the past. Okay. Yes, come on up. This is gonna be good. Yes.
If we want help with our offer,
Mm-hmm.
can we go into the hot seat?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Yes, if you want help, for sure. Oh, let's get her a mic. Yep, perfect.
Oh, okay. I'm bringing up my notes. Oh, Lord. Okay. This is a safe zone, right? Yeah.
Safe zone.
All right, you need, what you all in here? Okay.
Okay, cool. Tell me what's your North Star offer.
My North Star offer is budget workshops
Okay.
for corporate America, school districts,
Okay.
etc.
Okay, corporate workshops, budget workshops.
Yes,
Now, I thought you said you do mindset.
I do.
Okay.
That's part of it. So my mission is to make financial freedom attainable for all.
Hmm.
It starts with the mindset, but ultimately, I want to show people how to use their coin to reach their financial goals.
Okay, awesome. So you do budget workshops for corporate, and how much are the workshops?
It depends, but starting off at $5,500.
Okay. And right now you sell this to corporations or colleges?
Corporations, school districts, and churches.
Okay, cool. And then what are the other offers that you sell to help people to get there?
Okay, so I have a Breakthrough Bestie membership. I have an ebook. I have some free resources. I have a Hello Breakthrough app. I do
Who joins the membership? What's the avatar of the membership?
single moms ages 25 to 65.
How much is this, the membership?
Right now it's $19.99 a month.
Okay, yeah, that's too low.
I know. I'm moving it up to what are we here?
Right, we here. How many people are in the membership?
Right now I have 47 people in the membership.
Okay, awesome. And now, what other paid offer do you have in between this and this?
I have something called it's a financial roadmap.
Okay.
So they take an assessment, a financial assessment, and then it'll spit out what we recommend, which milestone they'll go into. So there's 3 milestones.
And for the roadmap, how much is that?
That one is anywhere between $5 and $750, depending on a month per milestone.
And do you sell this to individuals or organizations?
No, that's an individual.
Okay, awesome. And do they have to commit to a certain amount of months?
Yes.
How many?
It's a year-long program. So milestone 1 is 3 months, milestone 2 is 6, and milestone 3 is 2.
So when I sign up, if anyone signs up for this, they have to do it for 12 months.
No,
What's the minimum?
3. Well,
3
the
months.
minimum is 2 months.
2 months. Okay, cool. Okay, now one thing that I see right off the bat is it seems like you have 2 avatars. So you have like the individual clients and then you have your corporate clients. Mm-hmm. So your North Star, it's almost like running 2 businesses. If you have corporate clients and individual clients, you're running 2 companies. Okay. And you know they could all be under the same umbrella, but the way you know it's 2 companies is if it's a different marketing, different sales strategy, different opt-in strategies. So it'll be 2. So over here, you need like a North Star offer. Mm-hmm. And then here, you could still do an audit for your offer here. Have you seen the Your First Corporate Offer Summit? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was, who came to that? Okay, good. That was good, right? For breaking down these corporate offers. So for this offer here, the first things first is I'd make your minimum workshop $15,000. I wouldn't do $5,500. Yeah. Just because, so even like the average cost of a workshop is $8,500. The average cost a professional speaker charges is $8,500. And could a member of the team tell the hotel to turn the AC up in here? Because it's hot. Just a little bit. Can we take a poll? Maybe because I'm up here working. I'm like, okay. So $15,000 is your minimum, right? And then for your financial roadmap, this is going to be 2 separate. So that could be there. Now the average speaker charges $8,500. How many years of experience do you have?
Over 10.
Over 10. So I always tell my clients, because honestly, Black women, we are the highest degreed, highest educated, most experienced, lowest paid, right? And so I always tell them if the average person charges that, you're not average. So double that and start the negotiation at 15. The good thing about corporate and college is it's a negotiation. So you just start your negotiation at 15. Some of you should start it at 35, but 15 is a good, because you said, So if it makes you say, then yeah, just start the negotiation. Yeah. What's that hesitation, bro?
Sis, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know what y'all got going on in y'all. It is a challenge for me to get this done. So the idea of raising my price when I'm already struggling to get people on board to pay this, I mean, like. Okay.
So let's deal with that, right? How many of you have felt like that? Like, how can I raise my price? It's hard for people to already pay what I'm paying. Okay, so here's how this will work, right? For the workshops right now, how many people are you reaching out to? So let's do it like this, because I already know how we are. No. Okay, last month, how many people did you ask to buy this workshop?
the reason why I'm hesitating is because I literally just hired someone to start sending stuff out. Like, I just invested in my business, so I don't know what Donna did. I mean, it was a bunch of people. Like, we were sending, no, I'm
Yeah.
very transparent.
Yeah.
Like, I hired somebody,
Yeah.
she's a coordinator, and because that was my issue. I wasn't asking enough people. We came up with a template, she started doing research. And
When did she start?
2 months ago.
Okay, so here's the thing. We got to know our numbers,
Yeah, I don't
right? So we got to know, like, did she reach out to 100? Did she reach out to 500? Did she reach out to 1,000?
It's a spreadsheet. It's anywhere between, I would say, let's just say between 200 and 500 people. Like companies, school districts,
Yeah.
schools, we hit the ground.
So this is the thing. One, because you said, like, this just started 2 months ago, so you just started reaching out to people.
Yes.
So you don't know if it's hard to get people to buy because you don't have enough data. Right?
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Because sales is just numbers, right? So if I reach out to 1,000 people and I don't get at least like 10% of those people to respond, then I already know, like, I need to change my pitch.
Yes.
Then I'm looking at, okay, well, out of the 100 people that responded, I should be able to get another 10 to book a sales call.
Yes. I'm sorry. Let me be clear. So this is new. This right here, meaning me reaching out or whatever. This right here is what I've been pushing for
So,
years.
okay, so let's go back. So if this is new, then
Yeah.
why wouldn't you raise your price?
Okay, that's fine. I'm sorry. When I mentioned that,
Yeah.
this is where I was talking about, like, when you talk about raising this or doing this or pushing this is what I've been doing with Hello Breakthrough for, and I can't get people. These are the individual people. I can't get them.
Well, that's because, didn't you down here say, like, this is mainly single moms?
Yeah.
Is that your avatar?
Yes, that has.
Because here's the thing. The single moms that I know with means, real talk, that's not what they go by. You see what I'm saying? So, like, I have people, I work with people all the time, they're single moms, but they're not like, hey, actually, I'm a single mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it may come up, but it's not their identifier. So if you're trying to serve an audience that has the budget to pay you, you got to know what they identify with.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, I'm a survivor of sexual assault. But if I saw an ad that was like, survivors, come to this conference, I'd be like, not for me. Because, like, that's not my identifier,
Yeah.
right? And so you need to know the identifier of your audience. And the single mom, you should research, where did that term come from? Because the single mom term, if I'm not mistaken, was a marketing ploy to make black women feel bad for being unwed mothers, when most of us originally in this country were made unwed mothers by slave owners. And so if you look at the history behind some of these monikers that they are always identifying with us, those monikers have a lack affixed to them by racist systems.
Yeah.
So when you talk, because you were like, it's single moms. Y'all heard her say that? Yeah. Okay. Being a single mom has nothing to do with your financial situation, but if that's your identifier, then it may have something to do with you feeling like you have a lack of resources.
Okay.
Because I have a girlfriend who technically would be considered a single mom. But she is a single mom because she could not find a suitable partner to be the dad. And so she paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to become a mom and then hired 24-hour help because she makes about $1 million a year.
Okay.
But if she saw something that says single mom, she'd be like, I can't relate. Because I may be single by marital status, but I am not alone.
Yeah.
She's a supported mom.
That's fair.
So your language is what's going to attract people to you. Now, this should be $15,000. Okay, that's where you start the negotiation.
Okay.
That's that. The way that you're going to sell this is going to be by direct outreach, okay? If you reach out to a lot of people and you're not getting a response, are you in the Pitch Your Way to Cash membership?
I'm not in nothing. I just.
Okay, cool. Oh, she's like, I just got here. I'm up here in the hot seat. But, like, how many of you are getting help right now by her being brave and coming up here? Let's give it up for her. Okay. So boom, we're gonna start this price here. I only mention that because we have like a tracker in there that tells you how many people you should reach out to when you get a response, and we'll give you feedback on your pitches. But here, this financial roadmap, if this is kind of the North Star offer, it's kind of functioning as that right now, I think you need something above that. But if this is functioning as the North Star offer and you have people who are like, this is too high, okay, so then it may make sense because if down here it's $19.99, this is too low. So your funnel is not attracting people who will go here and convert.
Okay.
Now, again, what did we say? Price doesn't what? Price doesn't sell. So it is possible that you could have something at $20 a month and you can have people who will pay you $20,000. But that comes from your messaging.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. There's two types of messaging. You know Tiffany, the Budgetnista? Okay. You know, she does really well, and she has a similar model. I don't know if she has this level, but I know she has a membership model. However, the amount of people you need in it has to grow significantly. So let me ask you this. Do you have money to run ads?
Yes.
Okay. If you're gonna have something, I would still make it like at least $97 a month, but that's too high too.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, you got to get more people in here. If you keep it
agree.
at $19 a month,
Yeah. So I'm with you.
yeah.
Yes. And I'm working right now to create more value in the membership. No, God, doggone it. I don't know what to do there.
Okay, no, because what you about to say is I'm about to put more worksheets, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do, no. Tell me what's in your membership.
Girl.
Everything?
Well, so they get a text message every day.
Every day? No.
Y'all think this is safe.
It's safe. I love us for real. I'm like Monique. I love us for real.
Because the people is not buying this.
No, it's because of messaging. First off, don't she show up fly? It's giving $500 a month, $800 a month, $1,500 a month, $30,000 a month. But it's giving they not the right ones.
And okay, David, I appreciate and I promise I'm okay. I hear that.
Yeah.
I have invested.
Yeah.
I have coined and worked and
Yeah.
I've fixed and adjusted and tweaked the messaging.
Give me the messaging. Who is it for?
I don't even know now.
Give me the messaging. No. Save space. Give me the because we're gonna fix it today. Give me the messaging.
So how I sell the Breakthrough Best membership, it's a community of like-minded people who are trying to reach their financial goals.
Yep.
If you have more month and money and you need the tools to find financial freedom, join this community.
Okay. So where the lack comes in is if you have more month than money. I'll tell you, we don't have more month than money, but we have financial goals. I'm in a community, it's like 50 or 60 of us. We're all black. We all make millions of dollars in our business. You can't get in unless you have that. And all of us are trying to reach our financial goals. Literally, me and Chris are like, okay, we want to put 10% of every launch in the market. We want to do this. We want to make sure Christelle has, a couple $1 million before she hits 18. Everyone's trying to reach financial goals. Yeah. We started saving for Christelle before she was born. Okay. So we're all trying to reach financial goals, but that more month than money. Now, here's the thing. Because I feel like you have a heart for people who don't have it, who should just learn financial discipline until they could have more, Yeah. So here's what you do, right? Underneath this offer, you have your free content. Now, my YouTube channel is free.
Yeah, I have all this free stuff.
So here's the thing. That free stuff serves them. Don't even take, because here's the thing. Okay. I am not a payday loan store. Yeah. Payday loan stores prey on broke people and give them high interest loans. Okay. My messaging ain't giving payday loan. Yeah. I help women who are already successful get to results faster. Okay. That messaging is not saying like, come here if you broke. I charge. Now, if you don't got it, watch the YouTube, get the book, come to the free Facebook group, but do not give me your credit card if it's going to decline next month. So I think, and I'm very clear about that because I'm also a lawyer and I will come for you. I don't want to. And so your free content is going to do the impact. Gotcha. Everybody can afford free. Yeah. All you got to do to get free is time. Okay? And people who don't have money got to get time. Okay. Sometimes they don't got money and they don't got time because they could be working really, really hard. But you have something to serve them. So free yourself of the burden of I'm trying to help. You already are for free. Gotcha. So the free helps them. Okay. But the messaging in the free is not for them. Okay. but it's available to them. So even if it's free content, it shouldn't be like more month than money. It should be like, all right, you made your first 6 figures and you got that first tax bill. Let's talk about how to budget 6 figures so you're not broke at the end of the year, right? Yeah. But you're talking about 6 figures. So you should be doing content breaking down, okay, if you make $100,000 a year, they take out 30% in taxes, that's $70,000 a year. So how much do you really need to make in order to take home $100,000 a year? Okay. You should be looking at salaries in $250,000 to $300,000. And did you know that people who make 300 grand sometimes still live paycheck to paycheck? Here's how. And then you show them the rent, you show them the this, you show them that. Don't do that. Don't be like them. And then you need content about how financially smart people always pay people to help them with their money. Yes. Okay. Because what people think is like, I'm trying to save money, so that means I have to keep money. What people don't realize is rich people get rich by spending money. But their money just makes more money. Like the money works, the money has babies, right? And so it's like you have to, when people, money mindset is literally figuring out what are all the lies that they're telling themselves that you can help them through. But the people that are going to pay you, this is still gonna all be your free content, but the people that are gonna pay you are the people who are making the 6 figures, who wanna budget, who are making 7 and 8 figures and wanna budget. A lot of us get money and still don't know how to use it. And why not help them? Let me tell y'all something. Everybody wants to help at the bottom. There's so much room to help people who are already winning because very few people help or talk to them. All the messaging on social media is make your first 6 figures. How you make your first this. How you get your first client. Where is the messaging that's like, all right, you're already making $20 million. Here's what I want to do. It's so few people that talk like that you would automatically attract everyone who's aspirational to that. And you'll get people who would start respecting you as like, oh, she can help me. So that's the messaging. So when you said you fixed your messaging, what a lot of people believe, and this may not be you, we're not coming down on you, we're just helping you right now, okay? You good? You okay? We're here now. Now look, right? When people say, I help people with messaging, here's what most of those coaches mean. They typically mean, I help you make it sound pretty. Not, I help you get more clients. Because the psychology of the sale means I have to say the words that my buyers will pick up on. I would rather it be clear than cute. Like, hey, I help women who are already making, like my accountant, her messaging is, I help first generation millionaires steward wealth. First generation Black millionaires steward wealth. So when I was looking for someone, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's my accountant. You know what I mean? Even though I'm actually not first generation, but still, it was close enough. So I was like, all right, here we go, you know? But that messaging made sense. And it made me think, okay, all of her other clients are people I should know. I actually found another client of hers who was so successful that when I found out he worked with her, I was like, well, this must be where the successful people go. Now, when you have community, what you got to look out for is this. And we've had this problem. If you have people pay for a community, but the people in the community are not lit, the people who are your perfect fit will leave because they don't want to be associated with the other people. I was recently at an event and this guy was selling something. I won't say the name of the event, but he was selling something. And then he was like, everybody who wants to join, come to the front. And I was like, I could pay for this. Like, that's not a problem. But I was looking at all the people that came to the front and I was like, I cannot. It's not giving for me. You know what I mean? And even the messaging was like, I know some of y'all struggle to get here. And I was like, ooh, whenever I hear stuff like that, he's like, you need to have gas in your car. I'm like, okay. Am I in the right bed? Right place? I was like, I'm not about to be joined at that. And then like, you were talking like that, but then you selling them something for $40,000. But you know they struggle to get there. It's payday loan messaging. It's usury and predatory at that point. So at least if your messaging is like, I work with people who have means, I work with women who have money, I work with people, then if you do get people who can't afford it or who are stretching, at least it's not your fault, right? It's not like you were preying on them. They made a decision to come up, which can be transformative. I don't get involved in that. I'm not saying you can't join, but I don't want you to join and I'm sitting here, I know you can't pay your rent, but give me next month rent. I just feel like to me, that's predatory. So for you, help them for free. But even in your free messaging, talk to a specific person who's your avatar. And don't feel bad about it. Because I know, you invest in yourself, you work with people, you invested to come here, like, You're VIP, you're in the first row. Like, you deserve to make a whole lot of money.
I do.
Period. And let me tell you something else. You're gonna be such a witness when you're so wealthy, because what's gonna happen is, like, young girls are gonna see you, you're gonna be like just dripping. You know, wealthy people walk different, they be like, everything's just, like, we go to the country club and like those women, they're like, hi Ashley, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, I have to go to work. They're like, oh, you work. I'm like, okay, Barbara, judging me, you know, but like they don't got no worries. We took our clients, our mastermind clients, we have a Lux level to our mastermind for women who are already making over $500,000 a year. We took them to the Four Seasons because we bougie. And we had the operations, she's the learning and development manager. I asked her a question, I said, define luxury. She said, luxury is the absence of worry. So real talk, the way that you're gonna be able to attract wealthy women and help them to make their money work for them is by you not having to worry about your finances.
Yeah.
So if you stay here, what you're doing is you're literally abandoning all the women who need your help, who have means, because you wanna stay stuck here. And what's gonna happen here is all these women who are struggling to pay $20 a month, and I know they be having their card decline for $20 a month, because I know that happens, They are telling you subconsciously that this isn't good enough, which is why the first thing you told me when you wanted to raise your price is, I gotta change my program. No, you gotta change your people. And they don't even deserve, they can't even hear what you're saying to them. Because there's a level of struggle that cuts off planning. There's studies that show people who live in abject poverty, one of the signs of abject poverty is that you cannot plan past tomorrow. It's one of the most diabolical, evil things about poverty, is that you can't plan 10 years ahead and have retirement plans because I gotta figure out how I'm gonna feed my baby tomorrow. So you're trying to sell to people who mentally cannot get there. And they stretching to do 20 a month. They're like, I'm paying 20 a month. Why she ain't da-da-da-da? No. That will make you think less of you, which means you won't get to where you need to go. You cannot do it. So, I don't know who helped you with your messaging, but that's okay. We ain't gonna call them out. What we gonna do is we're gonna elevate our messaging, even in our free content, to talk to women who have means. So the message is like, hey, look, you making good money, you driving nice, you doing all the things, but secretly, at the point where that 2 weeks comes up, you're really looking for it. Like, you're checking, because I remember even making $300,000 a year, I would check my account on payday. Because I'm like, okay, well, how long we got? You know what I mean? Because if you make a lot of money and you have a stressful job, I don't know if y'all know this, but you actually spend a ton of money because you're literally doing retail therapy. Because I worked so much that I had to spend a lot just to make it make sense. I'm like, well, this is the only benefit I got here is the money. So speak to that conversation, right? For your free content. This needs to go up. This can be $197, it could be $97, it could be $297, it doesn't really matter. I would at least start at $97, and what we did for our membership is we had a founding members launch. Now our membership is, it's $2,000 a year, annually. And we've had it for a few months, we have hundreds of people in it. Now you could do a founding member, you should do a founding members launch. You should reinvent yourself, and you know what I would do? I would just be real. I would do a live video, I would invite people to that live video, and I'd be like, look, you guys, I've been doing you a disservice. Because I've been avoiding talking to the woman I knew I was supposed to help all along. And I need your help helping me find her. Because she is, and then you explain exactly who she is. She's making 6 figures, but secretly struggling a little bit. She has money, but doesn't know what to do with it. She has kids, but she's worried about college. You know what I mean? Like, literally talk to that psyche. Here, boom. So that's that membership. That got to go. It can't be, I don't think it can be no lower than 97. Just no lower than that. No lower than that. And then your financial roadmap, this is great, but I would elevate this. You got to be careful with your messaging, because I don't know if you're licensed as like a financial advisor or anything like that. But you could call it, if you do like, hey, I'll give you a financial roadmap, I think that messaging should be fine. Just check all the ethics on that. But you could also raise this. And it could be $997. You really would you'd sell it at $29.97, right? That's the price, $29.97, and you'd allow them to do 1 payment or 2 payments.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and that gives them access to 3 months of services. You see what I'm saying? So you sell it at like $29.97, you could do 1 payment or 2 payments. So that kind of gets you getting more of your money up front. Now, whenever you do payment plans, When we only had 25 people in our membership, we had a program, it was $15,000 for 3 months and $25,000 for 6 months. But we didn't have any defaults, maybe one. However, we got them all organically. It's normal to have defaults. You don't want to go over like 10 to 15% though, of defaults. Meaning if they do payment plans, expect.
Anybody to default on the financial roadmap.
That's good.
It'd be and I'll be so, anyway, we here now.
No, don't be confused. That's how it goes. Because they only got, and it's not their fault. It's just that they're in a financial state where $20 a month is tough. Okay. Every dollar counts. That's because those people literally have more month than money. They have what you said. Yeah. Okay. They ain't got it. Yeah. You know? So it's not their fault, but it's like they need to be, and I don't even like selling to people like that. So like free content for them, right? Free content for them until they're ready to come up. And you need to start having that conversation.
So when when they take the free assessment, based off of their results, not everybody even gets the option for the roadmap. They go to based off of whatever they said.
Yeah.
So
this is the downsell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're going to fix it.
Yeah, because it could still be a downsell at $97 a month. Yeah. Because whatever attracts them to that assessment, the messaging before that has to elevate.
Okay, that's fair.
Like a lot.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. I mean, you show up as elevated, so what's the problem? Like, elevate that language. They got free content, but even in the free content, guys, what we gonna do? Elevated messaging, right? Yeah. This is a big mistake people make. They're like, oh, it's free content, so I'm gonna talk to the new person. No. All of your content speaks to the person that you want to sell to. Okay. Because even the person that's not there yet will listen in. Yeah. Because they want to be there. And you only want to work with people who aren't there yet who want to be there. Okay. Right? Okay, so this you got something? You got some notes?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Give it up for her, give it up for her, give it up for her. You did great. More. I don't even know who. Your hand was up first. Yes. Where's the mic? Okay. Okay. So give us your North Star offer.
I don't have one. And
what do you do?
When she asked, I was like, what if we don't have one? So I don't have one. But I can tell you what I've offered, what I have.
What do you do? How do you help people?
Okay. A mindset coach for business owners.
Okay, stand up. Mm-hmm. Who else does mindset in here? Anyone? Oh, okay, cool. All right. Okay. Well, she like, I want her to get the same thing. Okay. You had a lot to work with. It was give it up for her one more time. Seriously. You did a great job. Yes.
Okay, so yes, mindset coach for business owners.
Mm-hmm.
I basically go through helping you learn how to reprogram your mindset based off of fears, doubts, insecurity, and things. So the biggest problem is I started out doing that, and it morphed into like a lot more business coaching, just because I knew how to do a lot of things with social media and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it morphed, and I'm in a space where I made good money doing business coaching. I've made good money doing mindset. So I'm kind of like broken between, I don't necessarily want to be a business coach. I like the mindset.
So basically the issue is what you enjoy isn't necessarily what's making the most money.
Mindset coaching made me more.
Than business coaching?
Yes.
Also, I thought you said business coaching was making more than mindset coaching.
No, flip it. Mindset coaching made me more. Business coaching, I feel like it just got caught up in like everybody's a business coach. You know how to do a lot of things, so people pull on you to do the things you know how to do well.
Right. So there's always a couple things with that, right? Like who can do multiple things? You just refer that out. And the reason you refer it out is because focus actually compounds, mm-hmm. but being scattered doesn't. Mm-hmm. Like I have a law firm, I have other, like I just don't. People are like, oh, can you do a trademark? No. Not for you, I don't want to do that.
So the product that I started with was 21 Days to Mental Freedom. It is a workbook, and it runs you through a process. And then
So what are your offers? Yes, you have the workbook?
So the workbook.
Okay, how much is that?
$27.
Okay, why you say it all low?
With your chest.
It's
Right.
$27.
She gonna be bullying y'all in the front row, okay?
Hey, you're right.
Okay, workbook, $27. What else?
And then I had one-on-one coaching.
Okay, how much is that?
It's $10,000 a year.
Okay, awesome. And that's one-on-one. How many times do they meet with you?
Twice a week.
A week?
For the whole year? Yes, that's good, girl.
Oh, she's on one.
Just support me, you know?
2 times a week.
Coming up, it was already rough.
We got our emotional support up here. Okay, so we got 10,000 2 times a week for the year.
So it's actually
You're 4. Oh, you got that multiple kid anointing. Let me stand way back. Stand way back here. I need to stand back. I don't want.
One was good. I don't know what I was doing.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, girl. Okay, cool. So then what else?
I have a membership right now.
Okay, how much is that?
$97 a month.
Okay, and how many people are in the membership?
3 right now.
Okay, so we don't need that membership unless we're gonna relaunch it. You said how many people in your members? Like 20, 47. Okay, so I think there is a number, like with memberships, the reason why you launch them, how many of y'all have memberships? Raise your hand. Oh, y'all been talking to Stu McLaren. How many of y'all know Stu? See, Stu be like, the entire world should have a membership. You could teach anything to anyone. $10 a month. Like, Stu, come on, Stu, this ain't Canada. We need to make more money over here. Okay, so no, I'm just kidding. I like Stu. Okay, so yeah. Okay, cool. What else we got?
And I do like boot camps.
How much are those?
500.
Are those mindset?
One is you have to do the mindset boot camp first to get to the business minded boot camp.
Okay, how much is the business one?
Same.
Okay, how long is the boot camp?
30 days.
Oh, okay. What do they get for this?
It's just live coaching.
How much? Well, no, What is it?
I don't know. You mean like how do I run
Yeah,
it?
like what are the elements of the offer? Are they meeting weekly? Are you meeting?
Oh yes, once a week.
Okay, and do they have a community as well?
4 weeks, like a Facebook membership, like a free
Do they get? How do they ask you questions in between the 1 week?
Facebook.
Group. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. And then what do you sell them at the end of this?
One-on-one coaching.
Okay, so they go from the boot camp to the $10,000.
Yes.
I'm not mad at the funnel. I mean, 500, 10,000. Okay, we just got to switch up the offer. So you got 500 here, 10,000 here, and then what does this do? Is this like the entry point?
Yeah.
Okay, and how do you get people in this? Are you running traffic to this? Ads or what?
I did it all organic. So I was like live all the time. Like it's all
Yep.
organic. I've never done ads.
Okay, and what did you make in revenue last year? You can tell me privately if you don't want to say it on the mic. It's up to you.
10,000.
For the whole year?
Yeah.
So how many people have you done this with?
3. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, and you were going live every day.
So to be fair,
Yeah.
like COVID was just I like speaking. I love motivational speaking. I'm a minister, like that's my thing.
Oh, you're a minister? Okay, girl.
Yes. So I live speaking, all of that. I was going in the direction of like more of a motivational speaker and things. So right after COVID, I did really, really well, and then it slowed down. But I think it's because I started to focus on doing business stuff rather than where I was really shining at, like where I was good at.
Well, COVID sped up and then slowed down for a lot of people. A lot of people actually went out of business after COVID because COVID created a false boom that didn't really exist. So that's not shocking. But what I would say is your marketing, you didn't have to work as hard to make money during COVID. And so a lot of people took their foot off the gas. So they started like, okay, this is great. We in here. I'm at people had their first 6-figure year. It was a lot of stuff going on. And then after COVID, now you have to really have skill to sell. And people are like, I don't got that. Like, I'm not doing launches. I don't have a marketing plan. So there's that. I think it's cool that you got some clients during COVID. I think you have elements of a really dope funnel, but how many of y'all have ebooks? So many people. Why?
that's what they tell you. That's what they tell you. They tell you, oh, you gotta get an ebook, get people in.
Y'all listening to I call them the get money bros. They be having like 1 million followers. They be like, sell this $67 ebook. I'm like, bro, you have 1 million people to play with. Like, so first things first. People who tell you to sell stuff cheap when they have a large following and you don't are not being 100% honest. So if I'm able to spend 30 grand a month on ads, but you're not, me giving you a strategy that only works if you spend 30 grand a month on ads is dishonest, right? And so before we had the ad budget, we only sold higher ticketed offers, solely. So my law firm, it was, the trademarks like $3,500, they started at $2,000, they went up to $3,500, and we would sell them through content. Now here's the thing with organic. For all of you, how many of you are mainly doing organic right now? Raise your hand. How many of you have seen a decrease in your reach? Okay. I don't know if you all have known this, but Facebook's numbers, the business, Meta, their numbers weren't doing as well. They needed to make more money. That's why you're seeing all this Meta verified and all this stuff. It's all to make more money. So they need to decrease organic reach so they can have people paying for ads and paying for Meta verified and all this other stuff. So organic is good, but in order for your organic to actually reach people, it has to be so good that it gives the platform what it wants, which is virality. So they're only pushing out content that they feel can go viral. Here's the thing, we don't have a formula for viral. So the way that you do organic and it actually works is you gotta be posting 3 to 5 times a day. And I don't love that for us, honestly. But we did this tour was, how many of y'all bought it because you saw like a post or something, or an email, right? Okay, how many of y'all bought it because you saw a Facebook ad? Okay, so a few. More people bought it because of organic than email, but we had to create an organic strategy. And I can give you what that is, but in short, y'all in these ebooks, if you don't have the audience for it, that's a waste of your time. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Tell the person who told you to come see me. I remember feeling the same way, and it's a part of my story. I had a $67 ebook, and I didn't make no money because you still gotta sell that thing. And so when you make a sale, it's $67, that's not enough. I didn't have the audience for that low of an offer. So before you have the audience, you need to what we did, we exclusively focused on selling offers that were at least 4 figures until we made about $500,000. We just released, until we made about 7 figures. We just released offers that were less in like 2021, where we had our challenges and you could buy like VIP for $27 or $97 or $297. That's relatively recent, but we were almost over the $1 million mark before doing that. And we started doing that because we were running ads, and so we got our email list up. Our email list did not grow organically. It grew from me running traffic to these challenges. How many of y'all been to a challenge or your first corporate offer summit or anything, a webinar, corporate selling secrets? That's how we grew our email list, but we had to pay for people to come to a free event. This is what they don't tell you. Correct. She said correct, right? And so if you're gonna do it organic, what you need to do is I would just not even focus on this because that's just gonna take energy. I would focus on this though. That bootcamp, all my live videos, all my emails, get them right in that bootcamp. And from that bootcamp, get them in this $10,000 thing. Now, when you're selling your bootcamp, you need a goal. So you need to have a goal where it's like, I'm gonna do 4 bootcamps a year. We're gonna have 25 people in each bootcamp, and I'm gonna convert 20% into this. And then but make sure that goal gets you at your 6-figure year. You may need to charge more for this bootcamp too. Like bootcamp probably should be $997 or even $1997. Because again, this is going to be the thing that's gonna really help you to get people into that, and then that price has to go up. But if you have a $1997 offer, then your one-on-one coaching can be $20,000. $2,000, $20,000, that's a really easy leap for the right person. And the way that you get people here is your messaging and your organic strategy. Now, because we don't have time, all of us in here, some of y'all may have to do it, and if you have to do it, you have to do it, right? Live every day. I used to do that. I was live 5 times a week. I still post a lot now, but I was live 5 times a week, and live videos will sell a $1997 offer. Now, what you can put before this offer as a freebie is a $97 clarity call. That is gonna be your sales call for this. So if you want to talk to people, because you already talking to people a lot. So $97 clarity call, it's 30 minutes. And it's just like, you can call it a breakthrough call. You can call it whatever you want. You should brand it out a little bit. But $97 to $1997 to $20,000 a year. That's an easier funnel. Don't focus on none of this other stuff. And all of your content would actually lead people here.
Okay.
Like, if I can help you get breakthrough in 30 minutes or less, would you give me less than the cost of a good meal?
Yeah, I'm confident in it. I've done it. I'm confident in it that I can do it, that I can
Yeah.
do it. But it was just the understanding, it was the funnel issue. And knowing what the North Star should be, because I was doing so many different things.
Yep, and it takes your energy if you're doing too many different things. So if you have 1997 or 97, whatever, because this is just a qualifier. It doesn't really matter the price of this. That to like your 1997, or you could sell the 1997 directly too. You can have a funnel that just goes there, but some people will need this step first. And then you go to your $20,000 one-on-one. Now here's the thing about this one-on-one, with 4 kids, it's tough. Like, if you're okay with it for this season of your life, the good thing about one-on-one, which is where we started, is you really get an understanding of what people need. So I'm not knocking it. I actually think that more people need to start with one-on-one before they go group. So I think one-on-one is great, but you just got to get paid for it. So like, you could do a $20K one-on-one, and eventually, after you do whatever that number is for you, this becomes a group mastermind or a group coaching program. And then it's still $20K. You don't lower the price, but it's a group program. And I don't think you need to talk to people twice a week. Because here's the thing. Busy people, successful people can't talk to you twice a week. People who work with me, they be chasing me. They be like, hey, my publicist just messaged me. She's like, can you please review these pitches? I'm like, okay, girl. I'll make a Loom video on the way to the airport. But I can't do calls. I actually just told a vendor who wanted to do a sales call with me. I was like, send me a video about your offer. I will make a decision, yes or no. Like, I don't have time for that. I don't like meetings either. And there are a lot of people who don't like meetings, especially people who have to be in a lot of meetings. They don't like doing any extra meetings. So you can have 197, boom, to 1997, and then your 20K one-on-one coaching. But I would not do 2 times a week.
No. It was a lot. I was hustling hard.
Yeah, I think for the 20K coaching, what you do is you give them a link to book a call with you, right? And they can book up to 2 calls a month, one-on-one. And then you host open office hours once a week. Now, your open office hours are only for people who are on this program, right? So it's not necessarily group coaching, it's still one-on-one coaching, but like once a month, you just like, look, I'll be there on Zoom, from 1 to 2. And if anyone has any questions, you can pop up. It's for my private clients. There may be other people there that may not. If you need anything, I'll be there at that time. Other than that, you have 2 calls to do it once a month, and you can give them Voxer access to you, like some app where they can just ask questions in between. That's fine. But I think you should create the offer so it works for you. You could do 2 times a month. You could do 1 time a month. Our mastermind is $35,000. I mean, I do a group call once a month. Now they have group calls with other experts, but that's it. Now my Lux clients who pay $56,000 a year, I do a group call with them once a month, and they have access to me on Voxer. But I don't get a lot of Voxes for them because they're busy. They just want access for when they need something. So they're typically hitting me up, Ashley, I got this $250,000 deal. How do I make it a $500,000 deal? I'm like, all right, cool, this is how you do it. And then I don't hear from them again for 3 months. But she made $500,000. Is she mad? No. Right. So it's like, here's the thing. The value isn't in the pieces. Somebody write that down. The value isn't in the pieces. People who think that the value is in the pieces of a thing don't understand ROI. They're still in that like employee student mindset. Well, how many worksheets do I get? It doesn't matter. Which one do you need to get to the next level? Literally, if I pay someone $10,000, but they give me one thing that can get me to $1 million, I don't care if I got a call with them every week. The value isn't in the pieces. And so some of you all's content needs to be helping people to elevate their thinking around offers. People who are like price conscious are, what do I get?
Yeah.
What do you need, girl? You don't even need all that stuff you done just got. They're like, I'm gonna do calls twice a week. I don't got time for calls twice a week. So why'd you buy it? Because it was a lot of stuff. That is not, like, when they say luxury is the absence of worry, luxury also isn't gaudy. Right? So when you go to like the Four Seasons or the St. Regis, it's spacious. The rooms are very clean. The colors are and that's how our offer should be. It should not be we just stuff it with so much stuff. If you look at hoarders, what do? They keep everything. But no one wants to live in the house of a hoarder. People want to live in luxury hotels because it's spacious, it's clean. So your offers, the value is not in the pieces. Do not be hoarders.
That's good.
With your offers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so this can be your funnel. Now the entry point here can be content, but I do want all of us to start having a marketing budget earlier. If I would have had a marketing budget earlier, we would have made $1 million in year 2.
Okay, but, okay.
What?
What's the starting marketing budget?
I think you start where you're at, right? So there's some campaigns that we do where I think I just met with a client and she's in our mastermind and she wants to start running webinars to sell a course. And I told her, okay, can you invest $5,000 in ads? And she said, yeah. And so the way we broke it down was we were like, okay, let's say you spend $5,000 on ads and let's say you get a $10 cost per lead. Now your cost per lead, you guys, is literally how much it costs for someone to opt in to your free webinar. If it's a $10 cost per lead and you have $5,000, how many leads will you get? 500. Now, if you get 500 people who say they're coming, all them people are not going to come. Now, you're going to get between 10 to 30% of those people to come. That's it. So 500, if we get 10%, that's 50 people that show up. If 50 people show up and I'm good at webinars, I can get 5 of them to buy. 10% of people on a webinar should buy. Now that's 5. Now, now this is if you are running cold traffic. Now, if these people know you, like you get 50 to show up, you may have 20 people buy, right? You may have 30 people buy, right? But if you do this and you get 5 people to buy, then, and your offer is priced at $2,000, then what did you just make? And your offer is $2,000. What did you just make? $10,000. So if you spent $5,000 to make $10,000, you doubled your ad spend. This is how you determine how much you're going to spend on ads. You got to know the math behind it because it's really just math. Okay? Now, if you are like, okay, 5,000 is too high, okay, well then maybe you do 2,500 for a campaign. But then you get 250 people to show up. So if you get 250 people to opt in, then you're only going to get 10% of those people to show up. Now you only got 25 people. Depending on how good you are at selling from the stage, meaning selling in front of people, that's going to determine how much money you make. But at 25 people, it's just too small of a sample size to determine if it's good or not. So that's why ideally you want to have at least 100 people live. 100 is a great number to make decisions on. Live at the webinar. So ideally I would love her to spend 10,000 on ads and get 1,000 people to show up. But this is a good start because for us, we started spending 2,000 on ads, 3,000 on ads. You know, it wasn't as much. And what makes your ads convert higher is your messaging. It's your graphics. It's the colors that you use. So there's psychology to all of those little pieces. And this is also why when you all are thinking of business coaches to work with, they don't need to have surface level knowledge. They need a depth of knowledge. And I think the problem with right now is like everyone with a mic can get an audience. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't always have people who understand the psychology of ads. So I'm not going to just tell you to go run ads, right? I'm going to show you the numbers so you can be like, all right, well, I can't do that actually. I can only do 2,000. So what's that look like? So if you can only do 2,000 on ads, then we need to make sure more of those people show up. So we need to be texting them. We need to be calling them to show up. We need to give them incentives to show up. We need to tell them we're going to have prizes for people who show up. So then it's like, okay, well, how do I get my show up rate up? All that stuff. So there's things you can do to increase your show up rate, but this is going to really help you to get more people on your masterclasses. Because another thing you could do is you take off this call altogether and you replace this with the webinar. And on the webinar, you pitch this. You never have to do sales calls again. And then boom, it's the same funnel. And that's better for you and your babies too.
I like webinars better. I like
Yeah. Yeah, and you like talking and you're a minister. And also ministers know how to naturally, rile people up. Yeah.
That's how I got here. I had battled 5 years of suicidal depression, and I don't recommend this, but I didn't have a therapist or anything. It was me and God. So it's just the framework that I went through to get myself mentally free. So I enjoy
this better. And I had a lot of coaches who pushed me in the realm of, and I'm just saying this because this is the culture we're in.
Yeah.
They're pushing us out of the realm of live. They're pushing us out of the realm. Everything is put it on automatic. Don't show up.
Because they lying. Can we be honest? Ain't nothing automatic in my business.
Yeah.
Even if it's passive delivery, it's active selling. So my course is pretty much automated on the delivery, but it's very active on the selling. So it's not a matter of can I do nothing in my business? It's a matter of where will I be active? And you want to know why they're doing that is because what the coaches told me that I ignored is just sell easy. Tell everyone it's easy because more people will buy. But that helps me. It doesn't help y'all. It helps me to lie and say, oh, it's going to be easy. Everyone can do it. But it doesn't help you guys because now you're in it and you're like, dang, I thought this was going to be easier.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there's ethical lines to all of this, right? Like I could teach you how to sell the stage. I could teach you how to do all of that. But like there's ethical lines and like you're a woman of God. We're not going to do it like everybody else. Yeah. Another thing, pray about it. Yeah, well, so now you got all these options. Pray and be like, God, because here's the thing, y'all. Okay, I don't want to go too deep on this. If y'all want me to go a little bit deep, say deep. Deep. Okay, here's the thing. This is how I think about my relationship with God. I believe everything I do in my life gives me tools that he puts in a war chest. And then I believe that at some point in time, God is going to utilize the tools that I've gathered to fight on my behalf. I'm not even going to have to fight the battle. The problem with most believers is they do not acquire enough tools. So when God is asking you to pull from something that you don't have, you can't use it because you didn't acquire the skill. And so we'll pray for things, but we won't work towards them. And we won't work towards them because we confuse faith and fiction. Faith is not fiction, right? Like God is like, study to show yourself approved. Somebody was like, well, Ashley, that scripture is about studying the Bible. And I was like, well, if you study the Bible, then you meet somebody named Noah. And what Noah did was he worked to build an ark. And he prepared for the ark. And he had to, before he could choose two of each animal, don't you think he had to learn what are the animals on the earth? He couldn't have even fulfilled God's plan for his life without knowledge. And yet believers are literally on this post of mine that has 500,000 views arguing about why they shouldn't pray and study. No, because I've gotten miracles and da-da-da-da. Are you sure? Because if you got it and you're still struggling and what God gives, there's no worry to it. Was it from God? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I say all this to say, now that you have new tools, now you can pray and God will be like, okay, cool, yeah, that's what she said. That's cool. Here's what I have for you. I've been waiting for you to get this knowledge. Now that you have it, here's what we can do with that. You know what I mean? Because I believe that a good God doesn't want me to go out onto a water that I am not prepared to walk on. I believe that my God is so good that if wealth would drown me, he would keep me from it. And so there's also a lot of coaches that say, you know, I'm rich, that means I'm favored by God. That's also a lie. It's a lie because if wealth would kill you, a good father wouldn't even give it to you. So you get your tools so that when you get what you've been praying for, you're ready. You're ready. And so you're ready. So pray on it and it's going to be even better. Amen. Okay, that was good. That was good, all right? I be trying not to preach. Chris but he was like, resurgence is called revival. It actually means revival. I was like, ah.
Wait, let me take a picture.
Yeah, take a picture. Yeah, so, okay, how many of y'all got help from that too? Okay, here's the thing, you guys. These ebooks, y'all don't need these ebooks. I'm telling you. Can I just free y'all from the ebook lie? The e-myth, the ebook myth, okay? They be like, yeah, they be selling the ebooks with like 1 million people on their lives. Look, there's nothing wrong with that, but you all have to understand, I have been in rooms with people who make 10, 15, 20, $30 million. And one of the things that I kept hearing over and over and over again, even some of these people who say they use God, right? Let's be clear. That also is not a reason to buy from someone. If someone says they love God, that does not matter to your buying decision. Let's be clear. Like you should try the spirit by the spirit. See if it lines up with the word of God. See if God tells you what he's telling them and then do what you're supposed to do, right? There was a guy and I was in this room and all these guys were making like 10 million, 20 million, $30 million. And on our lunch break, they were like, hey, Ashley, you know, what'd you do at your last challenge? And I was like, oh, my last challenge did like $110,000. And they were like, that's pretty good. You had a 6-figure day. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's true. And he's like, all right, yeah, well, you could do more if you tell people that they can like go out and get credit cards. So like a part of your speech should be like, go out and get these cards and go out and get this and go out and get that. And I was like, look, I don't mind people using funding, but I have before I sell anything, I'm always prayerful. Like, okay, what's the goal here? If you ever see me pitch at a live event, I don't even mention that we have financing options until day 2, if ever. Because there are some people that don't have the wisdom to determine what they should and shouldn't do. But what I didn't like about this program, not about the program, but what I didn't like about the conversations that were in these rooms was there was so much conversation about how to make it, like how to like get people into the offer, and there was very little conversation about operationally how to deliver it. Yeah, and so you have that, right? And so if you sell it better than you do deliver it, then you're called a scammer. That's the definition, right? It's like you sold me something, you didn't deliver it. So I'm always very careful. One, you all have to get your messaging to a point where you know who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with, and that could be very different than who's currently showing up for you. The people who are showing up for you may not be the people that you're going to work with. They could very well be your ambassadors, though. Right. They could be your ride or dies. They could be the ones that tell. Like I had a girl, man, defaulted on everything under the sun, but sent me her friend who had money. And I was like, all right, sis, well, it's a wash, win one, lose one. What am I gonna do? So like I tried to be, kind to everyone. But it is not like that I'm just gonna serve any and everyone, okay? So let's talk about affluent audience attraction. Are you happy with who you're currently attracting? Raise your hand if yes. Okay, are you saying yes or no? I'm saying yes. Yes, okay, good. So raise your hand if you're happy. Okay, good. Raise your hand if you're not. Okay, awesome. Why aren't you happy with them? Someone yell it out.
My messaging, they not where I need them to be.
Now here's the thing. If you believe you have a messaging issue, then you may be surprised about who's in your audience. There was a time when I was selling a membership for $30 a month. So I'm not judging y'all, I'm telling you. I had the $67 ebook, I had the $30 a month with 10 people in it, and I was meeting them in person once a week, in person or on Zoom, and then we did an in-person meetup, and I felt like I was making impact. So it felt good because how many of you are ministers? Ooh, we got it bad. Because ministers, we love to minister. So we be like, ministering. And you have to realize that there's I will minister to someone like on a live video, but that is different than like me delivering a service that they have to pay for. And when you have a heart for people, it can be hard to like draw that line. So if you love ministering and you love talking about God and your faith and all the things, you'd be happy just like talking about Jesus. You'd be like, ooh, yeah, talking about Jesus. They gonna get saved. That's good. Salvation's free though. So I want you to be saved. You don't need to pay me to be saved, right? Like what you're paying me for is a transformation in your life and business that you will not easily find anywhere else, right? And so you have to make sure that you don't get caught up in that. And I was doing that. I did it for a little bit, got my coaching up. But as soon as I changed my messaging, somebody in that $30 a month program paid $30K to be in a mastermind. Somebody in that $30 a month program gave me $3,000 for a trademark. People can't pay you more than you're charging. So there's some of you that are literally refusing to allow people to pay you.
So how do you do, I don't know if this is an appropriate time to ask, but how do you do value-based pricing? Because what I offer is really easy to me, but it screws my perception because I assume it's easy for other people and it's not, and it makes me price it from a survival standpoint instead of like an abundance standpoint.
That is a really good question. So she asks, how do you do value-based pricing? Because what I sell comes really easy to me, and so I need to make sure that I'm not charging for how easy it is to me. Okay, so can we give her a mic? Because we'll do value-based pricing. So you guys, value-based pricing is you charging you're charging based on the value to the customer, not based on how easy it is for you to deliver. So this means that it could cost you $1,000 to deliver a service, but you're gonna charge $50,000 for it because the value to the customer is $100,000. So here's an example. So we have a program, it's $100,000, right? That's the cost. In this program, you will get like 12 months of coaching with me. You'll have access to me on demand on Voxer 4 days a week. I'm on your hip, but the real big value in this program is that I will come to your event or your webinar and I'll sell your offer for you. But you have to have an offer that's at least $15,000, and you have to be able to get at least 100 people on your webinar or at your live event. Now, I know based on how I get down, you know, because I got my numbers, that we've done 7-figure events with 100 people in the room. So I know that if I come to your event and you've done, and I'm coaching you on how to get the right people in the room, your messaging, all of that, if you get 100 people in a room, you're doing what you're supposed to do, I'm live, we'll be able to make you some money. Now, I know that should at least result in you making another $150,000 or $200,000 on the low end. So let's say, because I do a repitch for you, you get 20 people to do your $15,000 offer. How much is that? 20 times 15,000. $300,000, right? So let's say I can bring you in an extra $300,000 and you are paying me $100,000. That price, would you pay $100,000 for $300,000? Now, 20 people at 100, that's only a conversion rate of 20%. At a live event, your lowest conversion rate should be 20%. You really should be looking at like 40%. That's where you want to aim at, right? And depending on how you get people in the room, who's in the room. So I am basing our value on the lowest possible conversion rate. So I know charging $100,000 is not a big deal. I feel very confident in that. I'm comfortable with that. Plus, the only people that are going to buy this are the people who are going to have a live event, have a $15,000 offer. They're ready to get coaching. They're ready to invest. This makes sense. Now, is it hard for me to come to an event and re-pitch somebody? No. But I've been studying it for years. I was a trial lawyer. Like what I did was sell juries on stuff, right? I've seen it. I've worked at the best firms. And that's what I do. That's a part of my gift. Just because it's a gift to you doesn't mean you give it away as a gift to everybody else. Free to me don't mean free to you. It could be my God-given gift, but it could also be the thing that God gave me to actually monetize. Because I personally believe too, God knows my mouth. So he knew I wasn't gonna be able to work long. Had to give me something. How was I to live? You know what I mean? And so this is value-based pricing, $100,000. And the coaching that they get is group coaching, right? It's not one-on-one. Now they can ask me questions on Boxer one-on-one, but it's group coaching. So this is a $100,000 offer. It's not based on whether it's easy for me. It's based on the value to them. Because when I get you 20 clients, or even if we did half that, let's say I got 10 extra clients, it's still $150,000. You still made your money back and more. And it's 10 clients the first time. Those same clients, if you serve them well, will keep coming back. We've done over 7,400 we've done over 12,000 transactions with 4,700 or so people doing those 12,000 transactions. What does that say? People are buying over and over and over again from us, right? And so if that's the case, then you getting new clients on the front end means that you're gonna keep getting clients over and over again. Plus, after you see me do it, you have the recording of it, now you can do it yourself, blah, blah, blah. So you price based on the value. That's value-based pricing. This requires you knowing the value to the end user and having some data to back it up. Because I couldn't say this if like I had never done a live event before. So we've done live events. We've had a $500,000 live event and we did 3 7-figure live events in 13 months. So we have our numbers. We know our conversion numbers. We know how we do it. And nobody pitches for me. I pitch myself. Pitch myself, re-pitch myself, speak on stage a lot, it's a lot. But I know my numbers. So if you know your numbers and you can quantify the value, charge for the value. Now, if you don't know the value and you don't know the numbers, don't charge those rates. Because I am not a charge your worth person. I am priceless. So I can't charge my worth even if I wanted to. No one could afford it. I charge my rate based on the value to the customer, and I always charge less than its value. Y'all get that? Like even for this event, is this worth more than whatever y'all paid, $100, $200? Yeah. Way worth more. Some people got in for like $49. They're like, I can't believe I'm here for this. This is incredible. You know what I'm saying? So we're always gonna charge less than what the value is all the time. That's just how it goes. So this is how you do value-based pricing. Does that make sense? Okay, now what's your offer and what do you charge?
So I have a new offer. So I'm kind of transitioning from employee to employer.
Okay.
Type of thing. I've been working with a few companies and I'm like just going into it full time.
Okay.
But my North Star offer is like full business automation. I help solopreneurs and small businesses to go from a one-to-one to a one-to-many.
Oh, great.
With little to no additional work. I help you focus on your selling. So I'm not selling for you, but I pretty much take everything off your plate or the minuscule things that's keeping you from actually working on your business.
And what's the price?
So my ideal price is $15K. I've been offering it a little less. So I work with
How much?
like from 5 to 8,000.
Okay, and how many clients have you gotten at that range?
Just about 5, to be honest.
Okay, and how many did you offer it to?
So I do kind of like mouth to mouth, like word of mouth type of
Referral.
Yeah, referral based. So what I can say is that even though I don't have the numbers, to back up, I've had clients leave and come back because they lose money when they're not working with me.
No. So if you have people paying you $5,000 to $8,000 and they can all give you testimonials, then there's nothing wrong with you charging $15,000. Now, what you need to do for those clients that you have is ask them, hey, how much more money have you been able to make because I've been able to do A, B, C, and D? Okay. Get on a Zoom call with each of them and have dedicated questions that you're gonna ask all of them, and then do interviews to find out how much money you've been able to help them make. And then you take all that data and then you assess what you should charge, because now you know the value of it. And then 2, you could take the transcripts of those conversations and have written case studies that you put on LinkedIn, that you put on Facebook. You can take the interviews and make them into like a limited series podcast. Like I was gonna say this earlier about content. Every long form becomes short form. So for us, I do a YouTube video for an hour and 15 minutes. I send that to an editor. He makes 20 clips. So you can put out a lot of content, but you can do it without having to do every piece of it individually. So I do think if you have people paying between $5,000 to $8,000 from referrals, what you need now is a sales system. So we'll get into making it more systematic, but definitely I think that's good.
Okay. So just to add the logic behind the $15,000 is that that's like a minimum wage employer for a year. You cannot get what I offer at $7.50 an hour. And so that's the value behind it, because my system replaces about 3 to 4 roles that you would have to hire for without the risk. Because you have to train people, lose money in training, hiring, and firing.
No, I think the price is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the price is fine. And I think your justification for the price is good because you can show them that. But then 2, most savvy business owners, but you're working with solopreneurs, I would say that most of us are considering how to replace people with tech, mainly because work ethic is going down and technology is speeding up. So we had various copywriters on our team, and one of the copywriters was like, well, I see the brief, the copywriting brief, and it's gonna take me, 2 weeks to do it. The exact brief that I gave this woman, I gave it to Claude AI, and it gave me all my emails in 10 minutes without the back and forth. I was like, saves me time, boop. And so literally now what we're thinking is like for every area of our business, how can we automate? How can we have our team using AI? How can we excel? Like I had an admin, I was like, hey, how long is it from this hotel to the hotel that I'm staying at? And it took her like 15 minutes. I just asked Claude, and Claude was like 5 minutes, like instantly. So I think that people are trying to figure out how to automate and use technology, so I don't think it'll be a hard sell. Yeah, so that's good, but you do need a sales system, but I don't think it'll be a hard sell. That's a good price. Okay, so let's talk about how are you currently attracting these clients? Now in your workbook, there is a list. And this is something y'all are gonna wanna keep or take pictures of. And for the person who was asking about the funnel, and we just worked through your funnel, on page 2, we talked about the funnel. And so we go through kind of funnels here, like what your lead magnet could be, what your initial offer could be, what your upsells can be, what your downsells can be, so you all have that. But let me find the page where we talk about your messaging. Okay, now this is on page 5. So if you look at client acquisition channels, these are literally all the places where you are attracting customers right now, or where you can be attracting customers right now, okay? So you have Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. You have paid advertising, referrals, partnerships, PR, content marketing. You have email marketing, speaking engagements, direct outreach, chatbots and AI, networking, and chatbots like a little chatbot on your website. You have networking, SEO, user-generated content, experiential marketing, educational content, local marketing, marketplaces and platforms. Literally, you all could put your services on Upwork. There are people who make millions of dollars from Upwork. So you could be like, I'm a mindset coach. It costs $500 an hour. Put it on Upwork, right? Fiverr, freelancer.com, community building, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Discord, Slack, virtual and augmented reality, and there's others. So number one, I think that first off, you all want to go through this list and look at like what circle where you're attracting your customers. And then you want to decide what's gonna be your North Star. Here's the thing, before you get to a certain amount of revenue, you need to focus. It's gonna be hard for some of you who do a lot, but you need to focus. Because let's say you do accounting and you wanna do public speaking. That's fine. But you're gonna have to figure out what percentage of the revenue can I take from accounting in order to invest in growing my public speaking. That's how you determine what you have the time, money, and efforts to do. So you're gonna have to focus. Now, if you have to do multiple channels, like let's say you are gonna do that, we just used, now we don't do it anymore, but when we were doing both, we were like, okay, we're gonna use LinkedIn for corporate and we're gonna use all the other channels for our coaching. Or when I had my law firm and Speak Your Way to Cash at the same time, I had days. So Mondays, Tuesdays, and whatever day, I'm gonna talk about law. The other 2 days of the week, I'm gonna talk about coaching. But it was difficult and it halted our growth. So we were able to grow both companies, but the first year we only focused on Speak Your Way to Cash, we did over $1 million in revenue. The first year we focused, which tells me that I could have just focused 2 years ago and only done that one business. So now I do tell people to focus. And I know a lot of people, I literally just saw someone who was posting about like, hey, everyone's telling you to focus. You don't need to focus. And then I looked at the lady's last post and it was like, I ain't got no clients, I'm broke. And I was like, ma'am, like this is not good, you know? So I think that it is a lie that you don't have to focus, and here's why. You have 3 parts to your business: sales, marketing, and operations. If it requires a different sales channel, a different marketing channel, and different operational backend to run 2 different offers, you have to pay for that. So if you can't pay for someone to run the sales, marketing, and operations of an entirely different channel, you gotta focus on one, at least primarily. If you're gonna do 2 though, then just choose different platforms. Like you could do LinkedIn is only for your corporate stuff and then do all of your other messaging on your coaching side on the other side. Now, if you're transitioning, like you're someone who's like, okay, Ashley, but I already have a business, but I'm transitioning out of that business into something else, you have to do everything that it takes to keep your main business, and on top of that activity, add these new activities to grow a new arm of your business. Does that make sense? So y'all got that? Because some people are like, I'm transitioning. I used to post 3 times a week, but now I'm only gonna do once because I'm transitioning. Unless that money has transitioned, you do not transition like that. Like we did not close our firm until Speak Your Way to Cash did $500,000 too. Once it was both doing $500,000, then we walked away from a $500,000 business to build Speak Your Way to Cash into what it is now. But we did not stop doing our legal stuff and our posts and everything it took to get those clients. And don't leave your job. Don't leave your job, okay? Don't leave your job. 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 You know what I'm saying? Like so many people be like, I'm leaving my job, they're disrespecting me. I did that and it worked out for me, but I had over $60,000 to play with. So we didn't make money for 6 months. Now the next 6 months we made over $100,000. But the only reason I was able to consistently grind and work for 6 months without seeing the financial fruit is because I had enough money to not worry about money for those 6 months. For most people, it feels good when you leave. It feels good when you make that little post and everybody's commenting and liking. Oh, we can't wait for your new business to drop. We love you. We support you. My husband will always ask, all them people, did they pay? Did they buy? And they were not the buyers. So do not let people hype you out of a good job. Use your job as your seed money, because again, the same way you wouldn't leave a business without having another business that's revenue generating is the same way you do not leave a job without having a revenue generating business. And we made that mistake, but they gave me a $60K signing bonus, so I use that as my seed money. So if you got seed money, you got money to play with, fine. But we invested in our business right away. Ain't no, I would wait till we make money to make investments. We would still not be making no money. We invested right away in team, right away in coaching because we had that money to invest. So I just want to say that because I know that's, if y'all following the ebook people, they may be the same people that's telling you to leave good jobs and just watch their Instagram lives in their Maseratis. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't gonna help you. So don't leave your jobs. Don't leave your business that's doing well to start something new. Don't get caught up in the hype. Business is not about hype. Business is about strategy and structure and longevity and planning and systems. It is not about hype, okay? Okay, there was another question. Yes.
Do you believe that you would have been able to build this if you were still working at that law firm where you were working till like 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, et cetera, et cetera? Like when you were working those crazy hours, do you think you would have been able to build this?
No, but I don't know, because I really don't know, because I wasn't planning to, I wasn't planning to leave. I just got a mouth on me. So that's one. But two, let me tell you what I was doing while I was working those crazy hours. I was working those crazy hours, and every Saturday at 4 a.m., I was going to my law school to record the YouTube Passion, Purpose, and Paycheck show. So I was spending 10 to 12 hours a week in my business, but I was doing it all on the weekends. And at the time, I didn't even have an offer to sell. So I was very comfortable putting in a lot of hours. So there's some people who work jobs and then they don't use their weekends. Like I was still doing that. And then I was also writing a full book. So when I left, my book had launched, and that was the first thing that I sold was my book. That's how I was getting paid to speak. So when I left, I was doing that. So I was writing books while I was there. I was working all them hours and still writing books, still recording YouTube videos. I was batching content. So at 5 a.m., I would do like 5 or 6 interviews all the way to 5 p.m. sometimes. And my makeup artist, who I still have, she was doing everybody's makeup. We ran it like a set. We had volunteer producers. So I don't know. I'm just gonna get after it. And I think too, let me tell y'all something else. Y'all too comfortable. Comfort kills dreams every day of the week. Every day of the week. And comfort is not synonymous with safe. So many people are like, oh, I'm safe. I have a safe job. You are not safe. You are just comfortable. I believe that my safety comes from being in the will of God. There are some things that are risks that I'm just like, I'm gonna do it because I know this is what I'm supposed to do. People can say whatever they want. It doesn't matter. I have a close enough relationship with God to know I'm gonna do me, which means I'm gonna do him, period. So comfort isn't safe. If I wasn't supposed to be at that law firm, I would have gotten fired from there anyways, because the part of the story most people don't know is after I left my job, I tried to get another job. And I actually got hired at another law firm that was amazing. And I thought that was gonna be where I worked. It was everything I thought I wanted. And they called me a day before I was supposed to start and were like, hey, Ashley, we can't hire you anymore because you didn't pass conflicts, which means I worked on a case at my old firm that prevented me from working on a new case at my new firm, which is very, very rare. But I had prayed, God, I want a job that's custom made for me. And God literally was like, well, you're gonna have to make it, right? And so after that, even though God said that, I was like, okay, God, well, that ain't what you meant. So I just went back and tried to apply for a whole lot of other jobs. And literally not a single firm would hire me. Now, that's weird because I'd already worked at the top firm. I'm black, ain't many black people, let's be real. So normally, and I went to Northwestern Law School, graduated with honors. So I didn't need a diversity hire. I was good whether I was any color, it didn't matter. But I couldn't get hired anywhere, which didn't even make sense. I worked at Kirkland and Ellis. Every other firm looks up to them. So I'm like, yo, small firm, you ain't gonna hire me, like why? And they were like, we're not gonna hire you because you're not gonna be happy here because you worked at a firm that was way better than this. You're not gonna be happy because they were basically so insecure about my experience that they wouldn't hire me. And thank God, because I figured out how to hire myself. So I can't say that. What I can say is this, where there's a will, there's a way. There's a scripture, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That scripture means something different than I thought it meant. I thought that scripture meant I could do anything through Christ. But that scripture is actually about I can endure anything with Christ. Because Paul was in jail when he wrote that. So a lot of people are like, I can't do all this because I have a job. That scripture says I can endure anything. Anything. So if you think you can't do it, then you need to figure out why you believe that. Because scripturally, there's evidence that we can actually endure some things that are very uncomfortable if we're in alignment with the will of God, right? So I don't know what you believe, but you have to figure out what's your mission that you're going to be sub to so that you can do what it needs to be done. Because I feel like a part of your question is like, but if I don't leave, then I can't do this and da-da-da. And it's like.
Just to clarify, I am doing it. It's just very slow because I work weekdays, weekends. Like so it's to the point where I'm compromising sleep, I'm getting sick, you know what I mean?
You shouldn't do that. Let me stop. It's not slow because you work. It's slow because of your delegation strategy. So if I know I need to show up everywhere, that doesn't mean I need to show up everywhere. That means I need to figure out, I need to have wisdom in figuring out who else can show up where, right? And so the first thing you need to do is look at your team and figure out, okay, well, all I'm gonna do is do all these videos, and y'all are gonna figure out how to make this one video 50 videos and post it every day. So you need a different strategy. You should not sacrifice your sleep. You should not sacrifice yourself. I've done that. It's not good. Watch my last YouTube video. Y'all saw it. Y'all who saw it, y'all know what happened. You know what I mean? And so it's not that. Now, the other thing is, you could also apply for another job that gives you more flexibility. But instead of just leaving without your business doing what it needs to do, you can apply for another job that has more flexibility, or depending on how much negotiation power you have at your current job, you could ask them to give you what's called a sabbatical and say, hey, I'm having some things happen with my mental health. You already said you're losing sleep, whatever else. Go to your job and say, hey, I need 30 days. And on that 30 days, you figure out a plan to get you where you need to be, you know, or you ask them to give you a different job. So where there's a will, I really do believe there's a way. I don't think you have to self-sacrifice. I do think it will be difficult sometimes. I don't think it means you need to sacrifice like your health. But that definitely is something that I've done. So I really do feel for you, because like I know how difficult. Do you have kids? Okay, yeah, I'm so, like, I did not have Christelle at the time, thank God. Like, that would have been, I don't even know what I would have done. So I do think there's a way, but another strategy, like a different strategy. Also, direct pitching is great. So if you're there, you need to have someone else, a VA or someone, doing direct pitching on your behalf, and all you're doing is sales calls on your lunch break, and you have that time blocked off on your calendar. You know, and there's some other strategies too. You know, your jobs have laws about how much you can work. Like, there are some things you can do, like, hey, you know, this really affected my mental health. I'm gonna have to take a lunch break at this time every day. Doctor's orders. You can get some doctor's orders. So there are some games that other folk done figured out that we don't be using. We just be, I'ma just work. No, you get you some doctor's notes. You start making, you build your case. You make sure they're treating you humanely and fairly. Like, you're gonna have to self-advocate. But don't just take it. Do not just take it. And I hope they paying you a whole lot of money for all them hours. Are they paying you at least $300? Did you get a sign-in bonus? Then now, them people did pay me now. Maybe I took a few L's, but I got a little check. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you may have to, I don't know, what field are you in?
I'm a CPA. So
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm working, but I'm also working with a small Black-owned firm where I own what I bring in.
What'd you say?
Leave them.
She y'all advocate up here.
Leave them.
My firm wasn't Black owned, I'm gonna be real with you. But here's the thing, you may find that you get a better, you have a better quality of life working at a larger firm. Because as many hours as I worked, I was able to take 2 weeks off whenever I wanted. It was a binge culture, so I would binge and work crazy hours, and then me and Chris would go to Thailand with no notice. So to be clear, I was living, okay? Like, I don't think you should do that. And whenever I have friends who work at like smaller law firms that are kind of family owned and stuff, they always end up working more than I worked for triple, quadruple, 10 times the pay. And so I would keep interviewing. I wouldn't let the fact that some people told you no stop you. You interview like you pitch. Like, you should be submitting significant amounts of jobs. You should be networking. That would be my first, in terms of prioritizing, get me at a job that's not gonna make me work these hours, and or that's gonna give me more money so I can invest it into my business and hire a team. That would be priority 1. And then priority 2 is like, who do I need on my team who can do direct outreach and sell? Okay? Yeah, and you need to be happy. Seriously. You need to be happy. Because I'm going to tell y'all, as much as I talk about how hard I worked, I was really, really happy. I was doing what I loved. I was traveling. Y'all, we are not here to continuously suffer. You can have a hard period. It don't mean you have a hard life. That's not y'all portion. You deserve happiness. You can work for somebody and like, Whatever you believe is possible is what you settle for. I need y'all to believe bigger possibilities. You can get paid, you can work well, you can go to one of them big firms, have a corner office and have a, maybe it's not a black owned, but it's gonna have a black partner that's gonna look out for you. You need to be happy for sure. For sure, that's a big one. Because you can't do all this and not have fun. It's way too hard. You know, like I really love what I do, so it's fun. That's how I was able to wake up at 5 a.m. and interview all those people while doing that. And then I like my job. It was hard work, but I really like my job. So you gotta be happy in here, okay? Do we have tissue or something, team? Yes, okay, so first thing, it's not hypocritical to promote your business because you're a business owner. Number one, you can run ads to an event where people then come and network. Like, this is great networking. And so we ran ads to get some people here, we've done organic to get some people here, and now we're all networking. So I think that mindset shift just has to be something that you internalize. And I think that even having an expansive definition of networking, because networking isn't just word of mouth. I definitely pay to be in programs just to network with the people in the programs. It's the same thing, right? And so that's that. And then secondarily, I've run ads on LinkedIn, the cost per lead is significantly higher. So it would only make sense if, like for instance, our average cost per lead is like $12 to $15. Sometimes it's a little bit less. On LinkedIn, our average cost per lead was like $150. Yes, because LinkedIn ads are really for if you're selling to corporations. So it's fine if it's $125 a lead for a 6-figure deal. It's not fine if it's a $125 lead for a $2,000 program, right? And so you just have to know the value of what you're selling, whether or not that would make sense. So depending on your offer, it could still be really good. And LinkedIn ads can definitely still work. So a thing on messaging, you guys, I need you to think about the highest value customer you want to sell to. The person you really want to sell to, right? And then I need you to make sure in your messaging, you're only speaking their language. 3 things to consider. What are they thinking? What are they believing? What are they doing? So we have a framework called the MBA framework, the Currency of Confidence framework, mindset, beliefs, and actions. Your mindset is made up of your thoughts. So your mindset is made up of your thoughts. Your beliefs is what happens when you start to believe a thought and hold it in your heart. And your beliefs show up in your feet. So you believe what you do, not what you say. So when I'm thinking of my marketing message, I'm thinking about, okay, what is my client thinking right now before working with me? They may be thinking like what Tony said, okay, well, this is hypocritical. Like, I don't know about running ads for my business because I teach something else. Like, you can run ads even if you teach organic marketing. Because just because you believe in organic marketing doesn't mean you don't believe in other forms of marketing. It just means you teach one form of marketing. So our thoughts can literally hold us back from taking action. So a belief that we just broke down is if I teach networking, I shouldn't be running ads. That's a belief. And how do we know that's a belief? Because it shows up and you're not running ads. So when you think of your messaging, what are your clients thinking right now? And then you should have messaging that covers that. Like, I know right now you're sitting at home thinking, I don't need to learn sales. I already get a lot of customers. But truth is, all your customers come from referrals. What happens when the well dries up? If you want to scale your business and all of your customers come from referrals, you don't have a scalable way to grow that business. Scaling is not growing a business. Growing a business is like, okay, I'm getting from 0 to 100,000. Scaling a business means I already have results that I want to accelerate. You cannot scale if there is not anything to accelerate. If I cannot accelerate referrals, I can't scale that business. And so with ads, you can scale because I have something I can accelerate. I can dump more money into it and get more results out of it. That's required for scaling a business. Same with organic. It's harder to scale on organic because more posts doesn't mean more reach. So you want to, when you're building your business, you got to think about that. But that's something our clients are thinking, right? What do they believe right now? Right now, you believe you'll never be able to make as much money as your job pays you. That's why you work for that job and do anything they tell you to do. But that's not true. And so that becomes copy. You see how that can become copy? And then you tell your story. I was making $300,000 a year. All I wanted to do when I started my business was make $300,000 a year. Not realizing that if I make $300,000 a year in my business, I don't get to take home $300,000 for me personally. So the whole time I'm trying to build a 6-figure business, I needed to build a 7 just to replace my salary. So that 6-figure salary is not replaced, sis, when you make $10K a month. right? Because you're divvying that up. And that becomes your messaging. So what are your clients thinking? What's their mindset right now? What are they believing right now? And what are they doing right now? Every day you selling that ebook and wondering why you ain't got a six-figure business. You watching them people with the Maseratis and millions of followers tell you to sell a $67 ebook when they ain't living in a $2 million mansion. And then because you watching them all night, you ain't making your own live videos, right? And so what are you thinking? What are they believing? What are they doing? That's going to give you a framework for making some good, juicy content. Because if you want to make good content, you have to enter into the conversations they're having in their minds. And you want to address the things that they would never say out loud. Like for you, that could be something like you would never tell your family that at the end of the month, you ain't got no money even though you make 6 figures a year. When your cousin asked you to borrow $2,000, you said no. He thought it was because you was mean. It was because you didn't have it. Really didn't have it. Come on, that head shake meant that one was hidden, okay? If you can get a head shake in a black crowd, that means you're doing something, right? They're like, that was real. You know what I mean? So that's why you want that head shake, honey. You want them reading your post like, I can't believe this, right? Like that's what you want. Yes.
How did you, like when you did your messaging on YouTube about your transparency, because like I know that that's something like God has been putting on me, but I felt like it was like, I was worried about the people that I'm pitching my corporate offer to and me being so transparent on YouTube, even though it's 2 different platforms. And so like my question was like, what did you tell yourself to make you feel comfortable enough to be that vulnerable and still like pitch these 6-figure deals?
Yeah, I think, so number one, no one owns me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody own me. Clients don't own me. I got enough clients where if one leaves, 10 leaves, 10 leaves, 20 leaves, 20 leave. I have thousands, like no one owns me. Companies don't own me. My old job don't own me. My mama and my daddy don't own me. My husband doesn't own me. The only person that owns my actions is God. You see what I'm saying? So you have to get to a place where you're like, don't nobody own me. I'm not gonna get in trouble. Now, when I first left my corporate job, I genuinely would be scared to do things because I'm like, I'm gonna get in trouble. What if white people see this? You know what I mean? It's like I'm talking about systematic racism. They are gonna fire me. And I literally remember feeling like I was about to get fired by somebody when I'm my own boss. But that's how systems work. Systems seep into your subconscious and keep you in prison when there are no jails. So a lot of the work that we have to do is breaking out of systems, breaking out of mental slavery to systems that do not mean us well. So if a corporate client, and this is what I would tell myself, if someone decides they will not work with me because I have had a mental health episode, thank God, because I don't want to work with them either. If someone decides they no longer want to pay me because of my past, praise the Lord, because I am now free from someone who wasn't really for me. And if I lose a friend because of something I say on the internet, thank goodness, because they were not a friend, they were an enemy masquerading as one for Halloween. I don't lose what's mine. It ain't nothing I could do to lose my husband, right? Like I'm not like we're one. We locked in. I don't do things in opposite of that. So like you gotta get like a little bit of a gangster about yourself, you know? Because like if you think about it, people really act like Jesus was this pacifist and he wasn't. He walked around and he flipped up tables. He went in like holy places and told them, you don't know what you're talking about because it's my God, not the one you talking about. He was like, I'm literally the son of God. We've never heard of you. So it does not change my identity. Your knowledge does not demean who I am. Right? And so when I started looking at like my role models, God, my parents, like I was just like, ain't nobody is a punk. Like, I don't know I do know where it came from. Slavery. Right? The thing that we used to get in trouble for the most was talking back. Over time, there's a book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, and it talks about how there are some things that we do culturally that are really remnants of what happened to us when we were enslaved, and that there's evidence that your body actually remembers through generations certain traumas. Yeah. So knowing for me, because I'm a knowledge, I like studying, I like learning. Once I have the knowledge to know, oh, this is not my divine identity. This is an identity that was hoisted upon me, then I can actually do something about it. So you have to ask yourself, is this thought from above or is this thought from beneath? Who wins if I give in to this fear? Because if God hasn't given me the spirit of fear, then who does it come from? And if I'm going to let fear lead me, then by definition, I'm not letting him lead me. Right? And so those are the things I tell myself. It's a lot of mental work. Here's the other thing. You don't owe nobody transparency. Again, I do not share what I'm not comfortable being manipulated and misunderstood. Because transparency is a gift, it's not an obligation. Unless you feel like you said God is leading you to do this, then you kind of got to do it. But you are going to have to pray for the strength and the wisdom to know how to do it, when to do it. Is this the right time? What platform to do it, right? There's still wisdom that's involved there. So that would be my answer to that, okay? So we've done a lot of hot seats, actually, elevating your sales messaging. So we've talked about this, and all of this is in your workbooks, like all the different channels. You all want to start looking at where can I tell my message that will actually get me my ideal client? Where can I tell my message that will actually get me my ideal client? Where should I be sharing my message to get my ideal client? But the conversations I want you guys to have on the internet, okay, to get clients, have to be real conversations to break through the algorithm. And I do not want you to get distracted by how many likes you're getting on your posts. We got like 0 likes on our tour posts. Like it was like maybe 1 or 2 or 3. And the tour was still selling out all over the country. 4 out of 5 cities sold out before we even got here. We only have 12 seats left in Atlanta, then we're all sold out, 100% of the cities. So I say that to say, okay, 1 like, no likes, it doesn't matter. You have to keep posting. You have to keep sharing your message. You have to keep selling. And the only way you get better at sharing your message is by sharing your message. Right. A lot of people think they're gonna get better by learning. You're gonna get better by learning while doing. And then iterating. So I want all of us to start policing our thoughts. Any thought that is in opposition to the mission that you believe you are fulfilling with your business, right? Police it. If it's not positive, arrest it, take it down. Don't let it just stay in your mind until it becomes a belief system that you act upon. Like, be conscious of what you're thinking. That's 1. 2, I would say you can always, so you're trying to find out who your ideal client is. You already have clients, so here's what I would do. What we did is we wrote a list of all our clients from the person who pays us the most money to the person who pays us the least amount of money. Then we highlighted the people that we liked working with the most, and we started developing our thoughts, beliefs, and actions content from them. I had a client, he wasn't paying me the most amount of money, but he was paying me a great amount of money, and I just really liked the way he moved. Like, him and his wife were amazing. They were just like my favorite client ever. And it's funny because it was a guy, and I actually work with predominantly women, but this was it was a law firm client. And so I decided I'm going to only speak to him. And not him like men, gender, but like that thought process. Like, okay, you already have a business doing 7 figures a year, but you ain't got 2 trademarks. Now, you know that's a shame. You know what I mean? So I started speaking to that person. Like, the reason you don't have it is because you're focused on making money and you don't think this does it. Let me show you how it does. Right? And so I just started talking to them. So for all of you, I don't believe in the fake avatar thing. Like, it's Sarah, she drives a Benz. Like, I just looked at who was already giving me money. Of the people that were giving me money, who was giving me a good amount of money that I really enjoyed. And then I started speaking to who they were as people. Another thing about me, raise your hand if you're married. Exactly. My audience is married. Largely. We're about 70% married, 30% single, but the 30% that's single, they enjoy the fact that I talk about my marriage. How did I know that most of the room was married? Because I know who I serve, right? And so when I did this exercise and went 1 to whoever, 1 to 50, 1 to 75, whatever, I was like, okay, well, what are they? All the clients that I highlighted, they happen to be married. I was like, okay, I never thought about that before. So then I was like, let me do more marriage content. Now, I'm married to an introvert, so Chris could care less if he's ever on a video, a photo. Like, in fact, he's like, actually, I would prefer if you keep me out of it. So then I literally had to show him the numbers. I was like, babe, I'm just saying, just look at these numbers, though. Yeah, the numbers, as the numbers say, you know? And he's like, okay, maybe I'll do a little bit more content, whatever. So you have to know who they are, but I would just look at who you've enjoyed working with. And if there was a client who you really liked working with, but they didn't pay you a lot, because that happens too, I would call them and I would ask, like, hey, you know what, I love working with you. I would have loved for you to be in this package. Why'd you never take the leap? And just see what they say, because they may say, well, it's because I don't have enough money. I didn't think you wanted to work with me like that. I didn't know that you enjoyed that. Hey, you never asked. Now I will do that. So that's kind of how we figured out who we should be targeting. And then we looked at, okay, my favorite client, my favorite legal client at the time, I hope none of my legal clients, they're gonna be like, oh, so I wasn't your favorite client. But like, we just had such a good rapport. But we don't work with a lot of men. And as much as, and we've had some men that came, but they hardly ever stay, because it's just like, look at the room, guys. We did not say this was only a women's event, but look around. So because of that, I'm like, okay, well, I have to do more content for women, because that's who's largely paying me. And the men who do come and pay me could care less about the women's content, because they're like, I don't care, I just need the information, right? And so I had to start looking at that. So that's how we figured it out. We just looked at who we liked serving. The other thing you can do is market research. It's something we talk a lot about in the Speak Your Way to Cash book. Do market research. Find out who are the people you want to work with and what qualifies them. Okay, we'll do one more question. I saw this one here, and then we'll do some more later. Yes.
That's actually the question I was going to ask. I'm so glad it's ladies asking these questions, because my question is, I did just hire somebody to help me with my market research, and I'm not really certain I'm getting what I should be getting. So I'm hoping you can give me some guidance on how to really get it, because I'm an overthinker. I'm an engineer, so everything is like, it's going to take too long, or I'm going to put too much on it. And I know if I just hire someone, but I'm not experienced enough to tell them what I'm looking for, and you're giving me some good stuff. But
Okay, now hold on. So I just heard like a lot of belief systems that we need to break down. One, I'm an overthinker because I'm an engineer. One of the belief systems we used to have was like, I'm not creative, I'm a lawyer. But I'm super creative. But my environment didn't accommodate creativity, so I hid my creativity. So one thing I would say for you is like, take off that burden of like, I'm not this because I'm an engineer, I'm not that because I'm an engineer. Before you were all those other titles, you probably were creative, you are clear. I believe all of you know exactly what you're supposed to do. There are things that are covering up what you're supposed to do. You need to uncover those things. So you can do that. Your market research, you should do it yourself. You don't need to hire someone else to do that, because you want to have the conversations. You want to have the conversations. Like, you want to be the person who's like, hey, okay, great, that's good feedback. Let me get more information on that. After you do it yourself and you have a good list of questions, then you outsource. So I do it myself. Once I have a system, someone else can come in and do the system. But I can't give them something without a system, because then what are they doing? They don't know. They don't have any guidance. And anyone you hire is not as motivated as you to solve the problem. Eventually they may be, when you can afford it, you know, but like, right, if you run her 15, she got you. You know what I mean? So like, people who are well versed and well paid and are experts and all of that, they're pretty vested, because they attribute, a part of their identity is their work. So here we go. A sales plan is a strategic document that outlines who a company will sell to, what they'll sell, how they'll sell it, and what targets they aim to achieve within a specific time frame. This is a sales plan. It's a strategic document that outlines who a company will sell to, what they'll sell, how they'll sell it, and what targets they aim to achieve within a specific time frame. Okay? And so we've already gone over some of these things. Take a picture of this. Your North Star offer is going to be on there. What is it that you're selling, right? Your target audience, clearly define who your offer is for. Your goals. What are you going to do daily, weekly, and monthly in order to reach your goals? What are you going to do every day? What are you going to do every week? What are you going to do every month? So for instance, we have a Pitch Your Way to Cash membership. Are any of you in the membership? Okay, a couple people, hey, what's up, what's up? So we have a membership, right? Now, for that membership, we will sell it through our Your First Corporate Offer Summit, right? And so daily, I'm posting on Instagram about the summit. That's my daily thing. Weekly, I'm doing a live video to promote the summit. Monthly, I'm actually delivering the summit, okay? Now, what else am I doing daily? I'm sending an email a day. What else am I doing daily? I may be sending one text message to my list today. What else am I doing daily? So like that's how you're gonna write out your sales plan. Now, what we also will put in our plans is like, hey, we're gonna send an email a day. We'll put all the emails we're gonna send in the sales plan. We'll put all the posts we're gonna make in the sales plan. So it can get as granular or as basic as you like it to be. And then you wanna have your goals, your sales goals. Now, we do our sales goals per launch. So I have a sales plan for each individual month because like every month I'm selling a new, like, or not a new offer, but I'm selling my offer every month. So I'm gonna know like what's the monthly revenue goal? How many units do I have to move that month? And that's how I want you all thinking about your offers. Like, how much I gotta move? How many units do I have to move? Like, Walmart knows how much they gotta sell. Sometimes when we sell services, we don't think of it as deliberate as that. But it needs to be, okay, how many people I need in this membership? 500 people. Okay, great. So how many emails should I be sending out to get 500 people? I know how many emails I gotta send out to get 47 people. So what would 10xing that look like? What would 20xing that look like? What would 100xing that look like? And then from there, what is my capacity? So you backdoor into your capacity to getting that done. And you wanna have some strategic activities. So strategic activities could look like prospecting, networking, attending industry events, could be a part of your sales plan, content creation, writing a blog post over and above your daily post, client retention, reaching out to past clients. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Getting them back into your offer. And then you're going to set activity goals. Now, you got your revenue goals, and this is why I believe a lot of people quit too soon. They only set revenue goals. They don't reward themselves for doing the activities. Activity goals is like, I'm gonna go live once a week for a month. I'm gonna celebrate if I hit that activity goal. Not, I'm gonna make 100 grand from my live videos. Because if you don't make 100 grand from your live videos, you quit. But you should be celebrating the activity goals, especially in the beginning. The activity goals is what's gonna keep driving you. In addition to your sales plan, you need a prospecting plan and more. A prospecting plan and more. So your prospecting plan is gonna be, how will I find a plan for how will I find the people that I need to sell to? Where are they hanging out? So Tony knows a lot about this. Like, this is the networking, right? Are they hanging out on Instagram? Are they hanging out on TikTok? Are they hanging out? Because if we don't know where they're hanging out, then I don't know where I should be making my content. I don't know where I should be sending my emails. I don't know where I should be spending time networking if I don't know where they're hanging out. And then there's some more stuff. You need a pitch plan, right? A pitch plan, and this may look different because there's two ways you can pitch. You can pitch one-to-one or you can pitch one-to-many. So in this room, all of you guys are here at the same time, right? So that's one-to-many, right? And then you have your systematic sales strategy, your systematic sales strategies. This is going to be, how am I going to systematically target that particular market? Okay, if y'all got it, say got it. Got it. Okay, now, how many of you already have a prospecting plan? Okay, prospecting, how to find the people that I'm gonna sell to. You have, keep your hand up. Okay, keep your hand up if it's written down. Okay, keep your hand up if you're following it every single month. Okay. Your prospecting plan is different than your actual pitch plan, and then your sales plan kind of brings it all together, okay? So let me ask you guys this. If I had something that could help you with your pitch plan, your prospecting plan, and closing more deals, would y'all want to hear about it? Y'all don't sound like y'all want to hear about it. Let me put my thing down. She said yes. Okay, if I had something that could help you to make more money in your business, would you want to hear about it? Yes. Okay. Now, how many of you guys are aiming to do your first 6 figures this year? How many of you are aiming to do your first 200,000? First 300,000? 500,000? First $1 million year, and you're tracking. Okay, awesome. So the way that we support people, I told you guys earlier, we have a couple different programs that we do to actually support people. One of the things that we do in order to support people who are trying to get their sales strategy together. How many of you are like, I need to get better at sales? Drop me. I'm so used to being on Zoom, y'all. I said drop me in the chat. Rusty. It's giving rusty up here. You know what I mean? Okay, you know what I mean. She's like, I got you, sis. Okay, so say me. Okay, so here's what we have, right? Now, first things first. There are some misperceptions about money that might be in the room. Somebody said, uh-oh. But there's a lot of misperceptions about money that are definitely outside the room. And for all of you that want to sell more of your services, you have to start talking about what's a risk and what's a reward. So if you all were to post, hey, I just got into Harvard College, it's gonna be about $300,000 a year, I'm so excited. How many of y'all know people will be like, yes, this is amazing. They'd be so excited. Oh my God, I just bought my dream car. How many of y'all know you get 100 likes? At least. Somebody's like, that's 500 right there, I'm going viral. Oh, I just bought my dream house. Big picture of a big new house with a mortgage on it. Everybody be so happy. Because people think that those things are rewards. Those are not considered to be risky, right? But if you were to say, hey, I'm about to spend $1 million on a coaching program, how many of y'all know people would be like, go check on her, send help, send help. If you were like, okay, I'm about to pay my team $100,000 a month, I'm about to spend $100,000 a month on team, people will be wondering, how could she afford that, right? How many of you know, if you were to bring in a consultant, you were to hire one of these wonderful ladies for $15,000 a month or $10,000 a month, people would literally be looking at you sideways, anybody. Yeah. But where are my accountants in the room? Can I write off my personal car? No. But can I write off, even if I spent $1 million on coaching, could I write it off? Yeah. If I spent $1 million on a team, could I write it off? Yeah. If I spent $1 million on a consultant, can I write it off? In fact, does the government cap at all how much money I could spend on professional development? But will the government allow me to write off a single penny of my law school tuition? Any pennies of my college tuition? How many of y'all went to college? How many of you, keep your hand up if you took a course on college about prospecting or selling or making more money in your business? Okay, awesome, one person. What college you go to, girl? A&M, come on, HBCU? Oh, it's like, not that one. Okay, awesome. So here's the thing, right? Why isn't college considered a risk by everybody? Why isn't the car or the house considered a risk by everybody? Anybody got any answers? System. How beneficial is it that it's totally seen as not a risk to get a $100,000 or $200,000 loan to go to college and average my salary at $47,000 a year, but it's totally seen as a risk to pay a coach $1 million who could help me 10x my revenue? Here's another thing. For us as women, one thing I found is that we are very comfortable spending a lot of money, $100,000, on things for somebody else. But we are very uncomfortable spending $100,000 for ourselves. And a lot of us see our businesses as ourselves. And the real reason we don't really invest in our business is because it feels selfish. Can we be real? Say real. Can we go a little deeper? Say deeper. The real reason why we go to college, many of us, is because it makes our mama and daddy proud. So we'll spend 6 figures to give them something to brag on. The real reason we'll buy a car is because, hey, I'm gonna get a minivan, I got these kids, I got 4 kids in the back. Not me, I'm just talking now, this ain't me. But like, hey, gotta have somewhere for them to go. The real reason why we wanna buy a house isn't to stunt. It's because we want somewhere safe for our kids to live, and we want a good neighborhood. Why? People with kids, why we want a good neighborhood?
Because people crazy.
Schools. So at the end of the day, all of that stuff isn't even for you, right? But the business feels selfish. I want us to change that mindset. I want it to be normal for us to spend $100,000 on our business. I want us for it to feel normal for me to spend money on stuff that I want just because I want it. Yeah. Why do we need a justification to buy things? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want a vacation, I'm gonna go on vacation. You see what I'm saying? So these are some things that we have to get out of our heads, like that risk versus reward, right? And so I want to introduce to you guys the Pitch Your Way to Cash membership, which is the premier membership for experts looking to sell more services. Now, we have had hundreds of members go through this membership. Several of them have landed 5-figure contracts, started selling for the first time. But the question that I have for you is really simple. If you ask people to do business with you every day, would you make more money? If you had a community behind you pushing you to actually make sales every day, would you do more activity? And if you were able to get my feedback or a coach's feedback on your pitches, would you feel more comfortable doing those market research calls, reaching out and pitching? Yeah. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Inside the membership, we have sales-specific training, an entrepreneur-based community, and live coaching and pitch feedback. So the main question that people ask is like, what will it cost, right? Here's the thing. I'm gonna be real with y'all, because I feel like we done been through a lot today. We done gotten really personal and comfortable today. There's even been tears that have been shed. I believe cost is the least important factor of any buying decision. That's just what I believe. And I believe that for this reason and this reason alone. Most people, when they say, what will it cost, they mean, what will it cost me to buy it? What they never ask is, what will it cost me if I never do it? And that's the better question. What happens when you come into an environment like this? Because this is called community. Someone say community. The reason why our sister up here who's been in business 20 years felt comfortable talking was because the community felt safe. When y'all look around, it's a consistent community. You know what I mean? We even got like color coordination happening in the audience. We got a little black and brown section over here, a little color over here. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Got a little pink in the back, a little blue with the yellow glasses. You have yellow glasses, we got the glasses coordination. So it's like community really does help propel you forward. And really for me, community has in many instances helped save my life. Because had I not, to your point, how were you able to share that transparency? How were you able to do that? A large reason why I have the confidence that I have is because for every person that may say something that's like ignorant, I got like 10, 15, 20 people. Dr. Connie's in my community, like, that's it. She's in my like circle, right? That'll be like, Ashley, keep going. You cannot quit. You can take a break, but you cannot just give up, right? And so you need community. But I found something when I was studying Black women in business, and we're doing Black Women Sell Live at the end of the year. It's going to be off the chain. The theme is Black women, the world's strongest superhero. We're totally about to cut up. I just want y'all to know. But I was studying Black women and like why we don't, like what is it? Why is it 26,000? You want to know why it is? Because we do too much alone. And we hide too much behind what looks like success. And so we won't ask questions. And the truth of the matter is, it makes sense. Because us being weak was a sign that we could really be in physical danger, right? And so if you look at the history of Black people in this country, we weren't, like, we had to be strong. We had to, be tough. We had to do that. And sometimes it just takes you reevaluating what you need right now to survive. It may not be the same level of toughness. Okay? And so if we're not asking for help, we're not getting ahead. The question that you don't ask will cost you the life you want to live. Ain't no way you should have a question and not ask it. Ain't no way you shouldn't speak up in this room. Matter of fact, because we know more about what everyone does, like we got automation and systems, we got Christian coaching, we have mindset coaching, we have accountants in the room, we have publicists in the room, because they all spoke. So now we know. So once we break at the end and we have a network and some time to chit chat, we know who to go to for certain things and to get certain help. So you gotta speak up. So what will it cost? The membership is only $100. It's like a little under. That's literally nothing. Somebody say that's nothing. That's nothing. Because you're gonna get access for 12 months. Now, let me just set some standards. Y'all, I'm not texting y'all every week. Like, we ain't doing that, okay? We don't have time for that. Y'all businesses are way too busy for that. You are gonna have an incredible community, and because we have a mastermind, which is where I do a lot of my high-level coaching, if you're interested in that, you'll have to talk. Chris, raise your hand. Talk to Chris in the back. That's for businesses that are already over $70,000, $100,000 a year. You can talk to Chris about that. We came up with this membership because for a while, what did I tell y'all? I didn't have nothing under 30 grand in the coaching space. Nothing. Like, I was literally like, oh yeah, that'd be 30 grand. You know what I mean? Like, for everything. And then we evaluated our mission, and I told you our mission is to solve what? The sales problem. If there is a sales problem, then maybe we need to have an offer that would solve it at a rate that people could easily afford. Now, if you're a business owner, $2,000 is not a hurdle for you. I'm gonna just keep it real. Now, if it is, you just deal with that in the back. But $2,000 is not a hurdle for you because where are my accountants at? Can you write this off? Yes. So it's basically what? Free. Basically free. And tax time, right? Okay, so here we go. But here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give it to you guys for and you can register at pitchyourwaytocash.com. Oh, okay, team. They just, see, this is why you gotta check your slides. Because I'm like, okay, yes, as we talked about that, that's a good deal. We wanted to do something special for Houston. Here's what I know. There are some of you in here who've been growing your business, but you haven't been moving as fast as you need to. If that's you, say that's me. There's some of you that have been watching everybody's content all over the internet and listening to all types of things, and you've been getting a little bit confused about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. If that's you, say that's me. Now, here's the thing. With Code Houston, until midnight tonight, you're going to be able to get the membership and you get it for 12 months. There's a monthly coaching call with the coach. Now, the coach is, right now our coach is Brianna Holcomb, but it'll always be a Speak Your Way to Cash trained coach. And y'all already heard how I hire. It's very hard to hire. I've known Brianna for decades, and she was scared to apply. Like, we've been friends since college. But she actually hires people to speak at corporate in her day job. That's what she does. So she's reviewing pitches from experience. She is actually awarded contracts. And so she's one of the coaches in our program, so you'll get in for that. Now, there's limited slots available nationwide, but you're also gonna get pitch templates. You're gonna get 100 research leads every month, and you're gonna get bi-weekly pitch co-working sessions. Now, y'all can actually buy now with Code Houston. Now, I'm gonna announce this first, and then I'm gonna tell y'all more about what you get, because I'm actually show you. And I have to show you guys what you get, because what happens in this space is people are so used to buying crap that they come over here and bring that stuff to me. I'd be like, baby, that wasn't me. You know what I mean? But this is your actual curriculum in the membership. Now, we only have 10 of these in the room. So the first 10 people to buy will actually get this curriculum printed out. How many pages is this? 105 pages. This is your full curriculum: conducting research, pitching, how to do your sales calls, sales scripts. All of it is in here. If it relates to sales, it's in there. The actual pitching and prospecting process. This membership focuses almost exclusively on you prospecting and asking clients to do business with you. You're gonna get in there, you're not gonna get lost, it's not gonna be 1,000 modules, every module is less than 20 minutes, it's transcribed. Those of you in the membership, is it good? Yes. Really good, really streamlined, really clear, right? Module 1, developing a champion's mindset. This is about mental toughness. You gotta have mental toughness to do this. It doesn't mean you are gonna be suffering, but it does mean you need to be tough. Then we're gonna go into Introduction to Sales and Prospecting. This is actually my favorite module in the program, because so many people talk about sales and don't break it down. How many of you, it was your first time hearing someone break down that like ad and how to do your ads and how to choose how much to spend and seeing the numbers, right? Like, we go into that level of detail. Then we have modules on pitching different types of clients. So pitching corporations, pitching college clients, selling to schools, pitching corporate clients, pitching conferences, pitching to the press, introduction to prospecting. So any type of selling you want to do, you'll be able to find, if you sell services, which module will be best for you to focus on, but it also will give you some diversity and some variety. And we have a lot of publicists in the program. Not a lot, but we have several publicists in the program. One of them is Lindsay Walker. I don't know if you all know her. But Lindsay posts in that membership like every couple of days. So I see Lindsay's posts, and she's actually been able to create a funnel to get retainer publicity clients by utilizing what we teach. And you can access the Your First Corporate Offer mini course for as long as you're in the membership. So that's a training that breaks down how to create your first $25,000 corporate offer. So for those of you that don't have that, you'll watch that, and that'll literally show you how to break it down, including how to add on licensing and how to do things like that, how to create an offer that you can sell to larger organizations. These are some of the things that people are saying in the membership, just sharing a small win. But what if all you learned was literally how to do more direct outreach, right? Would that be worth it for you? Say yes? Yes. Now, the investment is with Code Houston, and you can go to pitchyourwaytocash.com with this code, okay? Now, we only have 10 of these books. We have these digitally in the membership, but if you join today, you will get to walk out with your actual curriculum. Because how many of you know, like, you can read something online, but then you're also like, okay, I wanna see it, I wanna feel it. Okay, so we have 10 of these. Everyone else, you can print them out. But we have 10 of these. How many do we have? 10. How many do we have? 10. Okay, how many of you are like, I need this? Right, I wanna leave with that. Okay, so I wanna make sure you all leave with yours today. Now, questions. Will you be able to get live feedback from a coach? Yes. This is actually our Facebook group. Let me see if I can press play on this. Okay, so this is our Facebook group. In the group, if you're looking for a pitch pal, someone who can hold you accountable, you're gonna go to this post, and you're gonna post under there to get a pitch pal. That's the person who you're gonna contact weekly to actually pitch with. Here, we have a pinned post your pitches for feedback. As you can see, there are hundreds of pitches under there. You post yours, and within 48 to 72 hours, if not sooner, a coach actually responds and gives you feedback on your pitch. So you just post it there and you get live feedback from a coach. Then we have a questions thread, because some people may have questions in between. On the questions thread, if you post your question underneath there, you're going to be able to get feedback on your question. Now, one of the reasons why we set this membership up like this is because how many of y'all know when you join, you're going to go in and look at all the other pitches? That's the point of community, is not doing it alone, right? And so you'll be able to see, okay, these pitches are good. This was the feedback they gave. This makes sense. This is how I need to set up my offer. So you'll be able to get all of that feedback in the group, right? And then this is the portal that you'll get access to right away. This is our membership portal. Inside of the membership portal, we actually give you a monthly CRM. It is a Google sheet that allows you to track all of your pitches and all of the data points that you're tracking. So up there, it'll tell you, hey, this is how many cold emails you're sending out. These are your response rates. This is if you're doing warm emails, like you're reaching out to clients you already have. That's how many people you should reach out to. This is your revenue planner. So you put in there, hey, I want to make $1 million a year, and it'll tell you how much you need to make a month, a week, and a day. If you need that, drop, say need. Right? How many of you have a planning document like this already? Literally, this is automated for you. Okay? And so some people are like, well, I don't sell because I don't have a CRM. I don't have a way to track clients. Until you get one, we'll just give you this. Is that okay? Yeah. Are y'all cool with that? Yeah. So then also, you guys, this membership is pretty well laid out, and it's simple in terms of like how you can access everything. For every single module, there is another workbook or worksheet that you actually get access to. Now, we printed that out to give you guys today as a fast action bonus. So those of you that joined today in the room, you'll actually be able to walk away with this. But you're looking at all the modules, you're rewriting your limiting beliefs. All of this allows for you to do that in here. And then we also have transcriptions of like where things are. Is this organized? If it's organized, say yes. Yes. Right? And so we wanted to make sure that it was clear, it was simple, it was organized, but you're getting real access to the community. Now, sales is going to move everything around you. You make more money in your business, you sell more, you can have better branding. You sell more, you can get you a publicist. You sell more, you're doing more on Instagram. You sell more, you're getting a video editor overseas or in the country to do all of your video editing. It is not optional for you to grow your business. Somebody say not optional. Not optional. There are some of you that have been walking to your goals. I'm inviting you to run. Literally. I am inviting you to run towards your goals. I'm inviting you to stop thinking that like, hey, I have tomorrow, or I'll be able to do this later, or this won't work for me right now. I don't have all day for this. Like, this is the way that you run towards your actual goals. And we laid it out really, really simply. And then how many of you think you can make at least $3,000 with this information? Say me? Me. So then it also pays for itself in that way too. But, here's the thing. Everyone has a choice. The way I make decisions is really easy. Will this get me closer to my goals, or will it take me further away? If it gets me closer to my goals, I do it. If it takes me further away, I don't. So I will say, if you're like, hey, Ashley, this is good. I know I want to join the membership. Just raise your hand right now. Be brave. Who wants to join? Okay, you're in it. Yes, okay, awesome. You have a question?
I need to talk to Chris about
Talk to Chris. Talk to Chris. Yeah, you can talk to Chris about the mastermind. Yeah. I'm in your role, literally. You can talk to Chris. She's like, I actually want to join the mastermind. Interestingly enough, our mastermind has we have a private event next week. So you can talk to Chris about that. But one of the things that I'll say is like, for those of you who are like, I'm interested in this, I want to join, I want you to leave with your curriculum today. So definitely join before we end this session. Will I receive sample pitches? Yes, you will. Will I be able to get my questions answered in between coaching sessions? Yes, you will. Now, y'all done been a part of memberships. Are most memberships disorganized? I just want to know. Okay, now we done what we could do. Am I locked into a 12-month contract? It's an annual subscription. So if you're like, hey, I want to be in it, but I don't want to be in it past this year, that's fine. You can cancel anytime within 12 months. So if that's fair, say fair. If I want feedback, will I be able to get that? Will you be able to get that? Yes. How can I ensure that I get the most out of my membership? Take action. Now, here's the caveat. I work with action takers. There's a lot of people that are comfortable with y'all joining their stuff and not doing anything. I think for a real coach, that really breaks their heart, because the most valuable thing isn't that you join, it's that you actually take action. Somebody say action. How many of y'all I'm going to join and take action? Say action. Okay, you're not going to join and then hide. We never see you again. And we where'd she go? Where'd they go? We thought they were in this. Why do you recommend I join the membership now? I'm going to give y'all one other big bonus. If y'all want to say big. If y'all, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, let me ask your advocate up here. Should we give them one more big bonus? I don't know. That big was a little small. I don't know what you're thinking.
Hold on, no. Ask them one more time.
Okay, if y'all want one more big bonus, say big. Big. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show y'all this video. video presentation. Dim the lights, babe. Christopher, that was your cue. Thank you guys again. This was our first stop on the tour. Let's celebrate that. Yes. And I did want to pray out before we go. Are y'all okay with that? Yes. All right, cool. So I'll still hang out and take photos for the next hour, 30 minutes or so, but I do want to pray out before we go. All right, so real quick, Lord Father God, we just thank you for every business represented in this room, God. We pray that you blow our minds, God. We pray that you give us a new revelation about who we are in you so that we can be who you've called us to be to your people. God, we just pray that you would just bless Houston as a city, God. We pray that you would restore power where there is none. We pray that you would fix all the lights, God. We pray for the leadership of this state. We pray for the leadership of this county. We pray for the leadership of this city. We pray, God, that they would have wisdom with how to help the people win, how to navigate the infrastructure. God, we just thank you for being so good, God. You are good even in storms, God. Thank you for showing yourself strong and mighty. Thank you for allowing us to come together and just uplift each other, God. I pray that you would just continue to lead these women into what they are supposed to do. I pray a supernatural increase on their businesses. I pray they would get a new revelation about how to serve people in their businesses. God, I pray they would have fun. I pray they would be happy. I pray they would be peaceful. I pray that they would not have any conversations that stress them out. I pray they would be conscious of people that are trying to use them and conscious of people that are trying to help them. I pray they would have wisdom to know the difference between the two. I pray they will not be used at all. I pray that they would stand so strong and confident in everything that you have given them that they know exactly how to navigate life, God. God, we know that your word is a book of how to navigate life. We know that you gave us the Holy Spirit to get through hard times. God, we know that peace is our portion even in storms. And even when we don't understand what's going on, we know that we have faith and happiness and prosperity because you do. And so in your son's Jesus' name, we seal this with just a hallelujah, Lord, because you are so good. In your son's Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 All right.
Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. I need energy, need only good people that's around me. All the faith you can give, that's the recipe.